On day 1, I spawned in as a mutant dragon. Whoa, I'm a dragon, but it looks like I'm a mutant one. I had spawned deep underground in a mine shaft, and I noticed I had an iron pickaxe equipped already. Looks like there's one thing to do: dig. I figured every good dragon needed a treasure hoard, and since I was a mutant dragon, I needed to find some uranium to fill my lair. Most dragons would prefer gold or silver, but uranium is perfect for me. As I was digging, I stumbled on some ore, but a bar guest showed up and attacked me. Wait, I'm just a kid. I was so afraid that I dropped my pickaxe as I ran for it. If I was a full-grown dragon, I could have handled him no problem. But because my mutation was still weak, the only way I could survive was by running. I'm just a hatchling for now, and I only have 4 hearts. I tried to make my way to the surface, but I was intercepted by another bar guest. Oh no, I guess there was more than one. I was boxed in on all sides with no escape.
Ho ho ho! I've got you! Now I can eat this dragon and absorb his mutagens to become unstoppable.
Well, this isn't good. I was dragged away and thrown into a cage. On day 2, the bar guest brought in another prisoner who had also planned on eating. At first, I thought he was a normal rooster, but when I looked again, I realized that he was a cockatrice.
Dinner! Meet the appetizer! We hope you two can get along.
When the bar guests left us alone together inside of the prison, the cockatrice ran around the cage in fear.
Ah! Don't eat me!
It's alright, I might be a little mutated, but I'm a dragon just like you. That means I'm a friend. Call me Zozo.
Oh, thank goodness! Another dragon! I thought I was gonna become a chicken dinner. My name's Rusty.
Nice to meet you. I bet if we work together, we could break out of this place.
Well, I do have the ability to chew through stone. All cockatrices do.
Perfect! Let's do that! Rusty ate through the stone floor of the prison, and we were able to make our escape. But we were soon interrupted by a huge pit with lava at the bottom.
Oh no! We can't go any further!
Don't worry, Rusty. I've got abilities too. I had Rusty get on top of my back, and together we jumped out into the pit. I used my mutant wings to glide slowly towards the opposite side. And just like that, we had made it past the lava pit.
That was impressive, Zozo.
Thanks, Rusty. We stayed underground for a little while longer before Rusty dug us a path back to the surface. We decided to split up for now so that the bar guests would have to do the same to catch us. On day 3, I found myself inside of a strange forest that I didn't recognize. I wasn't sure if I was still in bar guest territory, so I wanted to lay low, but my hunger meter had other plans. I have to eat something, fast! I skulked around the woods and ambushed some cows for meat. It seemed like I was the only mutant animal around, so all the other ones were scared of me. I had to be extra careful if I wanted to hunt successfully. I also picked up some fruits and vegetables because dragons are omnivores. We'll eat anything. Just then, I noticed there was a bizarre creature approaching me.
Greetings!
Who are you?
What? You don't recognize a fellow mutant when you see one?
I'm a mutant dragon. What are you a mutant of?
I am half mutant crab and half mutant brain. Call me Dr. Invertebrain.
I don't get it, but that's okay. I'm Zozo.
You need to listen to me, Zozo. There are a lot of enemies after us mutants right now, and I've got some knowledge that can keep us safe.
How do I know I can trust you?
Because I'm a brain. It's my job to be smart and think of things, so you just leave that part to me. This way.
Then Dr. Invertebrain crab walked deeper into the forest. I wasn't sure if I should follow him, but I felt like I'd be in more danger if I didn't. On days 4 to 5, I caught up with Dr. Invertebrain, and he told me more about the enemies that were coming after mutants like me.
You've probably caught on a little bit, but there are creatures out there that think they can steal our mutant powers by eating us. We mutants can unlock special abilities that no one else has, and because we are so rare, the ones who want our powers will stop at nothing to capture and consume us.
That doesn't sound fun. I'm happy with being a mutant and having unique abilities, but being attacked because of it is going to make my life so much harder.
Mine too. I suggest you try to awaken your greater mutant powers as soon as you can. Those will help protect you against the enemies.
Thanks for the tip, Doc.
One more thing. Here are some stone tools to replace the pickaxe you lost. Yes. Another way to keep safe is to make a base where they can't get to you.
With the new set of stone tools that Dr. Invertebrain had given me in hand, I set off in search of a safe area to build my base. It had to be a place where I could keep a nice treasure hoard, as well as store all the food I had gathered up in the strange forest. I reached a small valley between 2 hills and decided that it would work. I began working on my base straight away, and it was coming together nicely. Eventually, I'll have a nice big lair where I can store all of my belongings. I had barely started when the same Barghest from before showed up again.
You won't escape this time, Zozo.
Suddenly, he attacked with full force, trying to capture me again. I drew my stone sword and tried to fight back, but he was too strong. That's when I remembered what Dr. Invertebrain said to me back in the forest. I have to unlock my greater mutant powers. I concentrated, and seconds later, I was able to use a breath weapon of green energy that blasted the Barghest back. It wasn't fire like you might expect for most dragons, but I wasn't most dragons. I was a mutant dragon, and the Barghest was done for. Suddenly, I felt my dragon powers tingling, and I started to get bigger. And whoa, I've gained 6 more hearts. I felt stronger than ever before. Maybe I could do this after all. On days 6 to 8, I left the base to go search for Rusty. I figured since the Barghest wouldn't be bothering me anymore, he would also want to know. I had a feeling that my problems as a mutant were far from over, but at least I could tell my fellow dragon friend that he was safe. Yes. I wonder what Invertebrain really meant about enemies. It couldn't have been just the Barghest, because they were pushovers once I activated my real powers. This thought stayed with me until I met up with Rusty next to the strange woods. Hey, Rusty!
Zozo!
I took care of those guys that were trying to eat us. We should be safe now.
That's great news, but you should still be careful, Zozo. I've heard that there's a bad guy on the loose who is trying to gain mutant powers the same way that those Barghests wanted to.
Sounds bad. I'll keep my eyes out. Thanks, Rusty. When I got back to my base, Dr. Invertebrain was waiting there. I told him that it was true that there was still a bad guy out there hunting mutants, and he agreed to tell me more.
I too know about this evil hunter of mutants. In fact, I once had to deal with him face to death. His name is Zed, and he is the Duke of Dragons.
The Duke of Dragons? You mean the ruler of dragonkind is after me, even though I'm a dragon?
It makes no difference to Duke Zed whether you are a dragon or not. As long as you are a mutant, he will try to steal your powers. From now on, you must be wary of every dragon you meet.
Did that also include Rusty? I was starting to get worried about our friendship. There has to be a way I can go live with other dragons, even though I've been mutated.
There is one way. If you find a way to pass your mutant powers onto someone else, then Zed would have no reason to come after you.
That might work. Do you have anyone in mind?
I just might, but in order to do it, we need a power transfer stone, which can only be found on Sunny Mountain.
In that case, I'm off to get the stone. On days 9 to 10, I made the trip out to Sunny Mountain to seek out the power transfer stone that Dr. Invertebrain had told me about. I had to find a way to become a normal dragon so I wouldn't have to worry about people trying to steal my mutant powers. The path up the mountain had no trees, so the sun was beating down directly on me. Now I know where the name comes from. Farther along, I noticed a ruined set of standing stones, and I thought that maybe that was where the power transfer stone was. I went over to investigate, and a Geonock appeared.
So, another mutant has come to claim the power transfer stone. Dream on! I am the stone's protector, and you should turn back now.
No way! Getting that stone is super important to me. If I have to fight you for it, then consider this battle begun. I unleashed my breath attack, but the Geonock seemed resilient to my mutant powers. I realized I would have to use my sword for this, but it was stone against stone, so it wasn't doing anything either.
Will you not turn back, even though it is futile?
Of course not. I will never give up.
Then perish.
You first.
Right when I needed help the most, a sunbird swooped down and gave the Geonock the hot foot with its fire breath. The Geonock's outer layer started to weaken, so I hit him with my sword until the battle was over. I went to retrieve the power transfer stone from the standing rock formation, and then I thanked the sunbird that had helped me. We flew down the mountain together, stopping at the bottom of it for a quick chat. Thanks for the help. I'm Zozo.
I am Tibernius, the winged warrior, and I am on a quest to find the next Duke of the Dragons. I saw that you were a dragon in danger, so I dove in to rescue you.
That was very nice of you, but I've got nothing to do with any Duke of Dragons. That's by choice. Anyway, I need to get this power transfer stone back to an ally of mine. Don't tell anyone I was here. On days 11 to 12, I found that Dr. Invertebrain was still living at my base, which was what I was hoping for since I planned to give him the power transfer stone. I retrieved the stone, Doc.
Ah, perfect. My plan is going perfectly. By that I mean our plan is going perfectly.
I didn't think it was that funny. But anyway, what else do I need to do in order to transfer my powers away?
Eager to get to the next phase, are we? Well then, pay attention. because this is where things are really going to get challenging.
I'm listening.
You must place the power transfer stone within the mouth of a magic idol that sits on a nearby island. I'll show you how to get there.
Excellent. I can't wait to be free of my powers.
I can't wait either.
I still didn't know what Dr. Invertebrain was laughing about, but I figured he was just remembering an inside joke. On my way to Idol Island, I stopped by an open cave to dig for iron ore. A strong suit of armor should protect me in case anyone working for Duke Zed tries to capture me. Unfortunately, the cave was full of hyenas, so I needed to do multiple sweeps with my green energy breath weapon to clear them out. Once I had cleared the cave of the hyenas, I collected the iron ore. Then I went back outside and flew off towards Idol Island. On days 13 to 15, I came ashore on the island and saw the idol waiting for me to place the power transfer stone in its mouth. There were signs all over the place with messages that said, "Here's Zozo," and "Transfer your power here." I want to feel welcome, but I'm starting to just feel creeped out instead. Was Dr. Invertebrain not telling me something about the idol? Maybe he had been planning to do something with the power transfer stone for longer than I thought. But then again, he'd still have to have known my name, and we didn't meet that long ago. This was getting too weird. So instead of placing the stone inside the idol, I jumped back into the air and flew back towards my base. I needed answers about all of this, and I was convinced that only the good doctor could give them to me. On days 16 to 19, I was surprised to run into Dr. Invertebrain in the field while I was still on my way to the base. He noticed that I still had the power transfer stone in my possession.
Why didn't you put the stone in the idol's mouth like I asked?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not listen to you, but that place was really weird, and I have some questions about what has been going on.
Questions for me? Well, I am a brain, so I should be smart enough to give some good answers.
First, why hasn't Zed sent any minions after me? You said he would, but I haven't seen any signs of it. Second, why did it seem like you had been to that island and knew my name before you met me?
You should ask better questions, Zozo. Those will get us nowhere. Just leave the rest of the thinking to me, will you?
Alright, but I'm still confused. When I made it back to the base, I was startled to see Tibernius the Sunbird there waiting for me.
It is you! You're the one I've been looking for! We need your help quickly! The Duchy of Dragons is under attack!
The Duchy of Dragons? Isn't that the place ruled by Duke Zed of the Dragons? Wait, did you say I was…
There's no time! You're the only one who can stop that madman Dr. Invertebrain!
What? It couldn't be true. I followed Tibernius, and the two of us hurried to the Duchy of Dragons. Once we got there, I saw that it was being attacked by Dr. Invertebrain. He was using mutant powers to destroy the buildings. Invertebrain, stop this! What are you doing?
I tried to do this the nice way, but you chose to defy me. Now, because of you, your people will suffer.
I don't understand. You said the dragons wanted my powers.
No, you fool! I want your powers so I can become the most powerful mutant who ever lived, and I would have had them too if you had just placed the stone in the idol.
I'm not doing that. I'm not listening to you anymore. You're going down. I charged in and prepared to use my powers, but he hit me with a mutant energy attack before I could. Due to the power of it, I was knocked out cold. On days 20 to 22, I woke up and saw that the Duchy of Dragons had been completely destroyed. There was no sign of Dr. Invertebrain anywhere. What was even worse was that the power transfer stone was gone from my inventory. He must have stolen it from me after I was knocked out.
You're awake! I guess Invertebrain still needs you alive.
Tibernius, I'm so sorry. I was too weak to stop him.
Don't worry, Zozo. I've gathered the remaining dragons and told them that you could make it up to them by giving them a new home in your base.
You did? Well, how can I say no? It seems like everyone got in a whole bunch of trouble because of me.
Nothing of the sort. There is still hope because of you.
The faces of many dragons looked at me, and they didn't seem upset. It was like they saw me as one of their own, and not a mutant. I promise, I'll do everything I can to keep you safe at my base, or my name isn't Zozo, the Mutant Dragon. I spent the rest of the days gathering materials and expanding the base outward so it looked like the new Duchy of Dragons. I added a bunch of houses for the dragons and a bridge to connect them all. I wanted to make it feel like the home they lost and provide a safe space for them. On days 23 to 26, I was searching a nearby mountain for some gold that normal dragons really like and found a hidden canyon with loads of it. The canyon seemed to be crawling with aggressive macas, which seemed to be very territorial and seems like they could deal a lot of damage. I better go out of my way to avoid a fight. I went deeper into the canyon undetected, but it turned out that some of the others weren't so lucky. I saw a zombie getting attacked by the macas. He looked like a mutant too, just like me, and was punching them with his green fists. Hey, fellow mutant, we should work together. I can help you.
No way! You're just gonna try and steal my powers, aren't you? Just like Invertebrain.
I promise I won't. He tried to do that to me too.
It sounds like we've got a common enemy then. Okay, I'll accept a hand.
I jumped in to help and used my energy blast to scatter the Makas so the mutant zombies could take them out one by one with his punches. Together, we defeated all of them with ease.
Thanks for the assist. I had almost given up on my fellow mutant. Here's a tip about unlocking your powers as a reward.
The mutant zombie showed me how to focus my energy into my limbs like he did. Thanks to his demonstration, I could jump super high with an energy-powered wing boost. Thank you. I'll make sure to put this power to good use.
If you see Dr. Invertebrain, give him the old one too for me.
On days 27 to 31, I found some sheep wandering through a burnt plain.
Meh. So hungry.
What happened to all the grass here, guys?
There was some kind of evil energy blast, and all the grass got burned up. We used to graze here all the time, but now it's gone.
Don't worry, the grass is always greener on the other side of the valley. And by that I mean, my base has some grass you could eat.
Meh. Thank you.
The sheep and I returned to my base. I then built them an enclosure around a grassy field where they could live and eat peacefully. After that, I went to see Tibernius and noticed he had created a training area where everyone could practice sword skills.
We need to be ready in case of another attack, especially because Duke Zed and his noble guard have gone missing.
That's right, I almost forgot. There are still some dragons that fled the city during Dr. Invertebrain's attack. We've got to make sure to find them.
I'm sure they'll turn up, but for now, we should prepare for Invertebrain's next move.
Meanwhile, unknown to myself and Tibernius, the evil doctor had been growing more powerful. He had captured that mutant zombie I had met in the hidden canyon and was using the power transfer stone and the island idol to drain the zombie's powers and add them to his own.
You'll never get away with this, Invertebrain.
Oh, but I already have. And I'll keep transferring the powers of every other mutant to myself until I'm all powerful!
On days 32 to 35, I was mining for more materials when I encountered a group of fire dragons. Are you refugees from the duchy?
It's one of them mutants that destroyed the duchy. Get him!
Uh-oh, they must think I'm working with Invertebrain. I used my mutant wings and glided to the other side of the group of dragons. I didn't want to attack them, so I tried a diplomatic approach. I promise that I'm the good guy.
Don't lie to us, dragons. We've been deceived before.
Just when I thought nothing could work, a bigger dragon appeared who looked like he was their leader.
Stop this at once. Do not attack Zozo anymore. He has fought bravely to protect his fellow dragons, as I knew he would.
You know my name?
I know a great many things about you, young dragon, for I am Duke Zed, the Duke of all dragons.
You're Duke Zed? I was told you would try to steal my powers, but I'm guessing that was another one of Dr. Invertebrain's lies.
Indeed it was. He tried to turn us against each other, but the truth is that we share a strong bond.
A strong bond? What did he mean by that? I had never met this dragon before in my life, but somehow what he was saying felt like it was true in my heart. I had to know more. Duke Zed, please return to my base and tell me everything. I need to know about Invertebrain and why I've always had these mutant powers.
No, I cannot. It is too risky for myself and the rest of these dragons to be out in the open, but if you need my help, you can find me in the underground.
Well, that's good enough for me. For now, I'm going to let Tibernius know that you're okay, but I'll be back soon to hear more of the truth.
I will be looking forward to it, young dragon.
On days 36 to 39, I decided to get prepared for the next battle by getting my armor to iron. I crafted an entire set from the iron I had collected a while ago. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. I also wanted to upgrade my tools. Since I had access to several caves with iron ore deposits in them, I started from there and kept digging until I had enough iron. Wow, these are some awesome mines. I should look to see if I can find even more cool stuff. Further down in the cave, I found a treasure chest, and inside was a unique weapon, an enchanted crossbow that could fire endurophage rockets at enemies. These rockets are made of parts that you can only get in the end. The explosions caused by these rockets could be useful later down the line. I went back to the base in order to show Tibernius the cool weapon that I found. When I arrived, there was another guest inside of the training area, a warped toad. Tibernius was standing by, so I knew it was okay.
Hello, I'm Warpo. It is riveting to meet you.
I'm Zozo.
Oh, I'm well aware. Every mutant has heard of you now. You're the mutant dragon who defied Dr. Invertebrain.
You're a mutant too, Warpo?
Why, yes I am. There's somebody I need to take you to see. It's an old friend who has some important news about the battle between good mutants and evil mutants.
You should go, Zozo. Don't worry about the base. I will defend it for you. Thanks, Tibernius. That makes me feel a lot more secure.
It'll be a few days' journey, but I promise you that what they have to say is worth the journey.
All right then, Warpo. Let's get a move on. On days 40 to 43, I traveled with Warpo until we arrived at the home of the person he wanted me to talk to. It turned out to be none other than the mutant zombie that I had helped before. He was now just a normal zombie because Dr. Invertebrain had drained his mutant powers. He told me everything about the power transfer stone and the island's idol. So that's what would have happened to me if I had gone through with it. Glad I avoided that.
Us too. You're the only mutant whose powers come close to matching Dr. Invertebrain's. That's why he wants your powers most of all.
That might be true, but how can I become more powerful than him? The last time we fought, he knocked me out easily.
That's why we're here. I managed to steal back the power transfer stone while Invertebrain wasn't looking. Now we can transfer Warpo's mutant powers to you and make you stronger.
Are you okay with that, Warpo?
That I am. Dr. Invertebrain must be stopped, and I'm willing to give up my own powers if it means you can take him down.
Then let's get to it.
That's what I like to hear. Go ahead and place your hands on the stone.
Just then, a giant crab burst into the house and attacked us.
Hand over my brother's power transfer stone, or I'll put the squeeze on you with my claws.
Your brother? Do you mean Dr. Invertebrain?
Yeah, I'm Herma, his non-mutant crab brother. Even though my brother is evil and a mutant, I'm as loyal as they come.
So am I, you crusty crab. Zozo, Warpo, I'll hold this guy off. Make the transfer, and hurry!
And with that, the zombie who used to be a mutant pulled out a sword and started fighting with Herma. I turned to Warpo, and the two of us used the power transfer stone to give his powers to me.
It worked! Now run for it!
We all split up, and Herma didn't know which one of us had the stone, so he kept rampaging and wrecking the zombie's house. I was the one who had it though, and as I retreated back to my base, I could feel the strength that Warpo had given me running through my veins. I could tell I was closer than before to being strong enough to defeat Dr. Invertebrain. On days 44 to 49, Zed showed up at the base with the remaining dragons. I did my best to make sure they felt welcome. After that, I made sure no one was coming towards the base by checking the surrounding area. Once I knew everyone was safe, I met with Zed alone. I thought you were going to stay in hiding.
I was, but learning of a certain powerful item changed all of that. I think that my subjects and I have discovered the key to defeating Invertebrain.
Go on.
We have reason to believe that there is a way to build an idol just like Invertebrain's. An idol that can amplify the power transfer stone and allow you to take his mutant powers before he takes yours.
You mean I could defeat him by giving him a taste of his own power-stealing medicine?
Exactly, Zozo. But it will require you to build the idol in a particular shape before you switch the power on.
Whatever must be done, I'll do it. Thanks, Zed. You're actually a really cool guy. I began to build the specific structure needed to house the idol. It was important that I get this right, because I was up against one of the most powerful brains in the world. When it was prepared, I left the base in search of the rest of the idol. On days 50 to 53, I went to a village that Zed said would be able to give me information about building the idol. It was an island village of crafters who specialized in building powerful idols like the one I found on the island so many days ago. They might have accidentally helped Invertebrain in the past, but today they would be able to help me. I asked the village blacksmith for information, and he turned out to be just as willing to help as I hoped.
The secret to the island's power is in the crystal eyes. The more pure the crystal is, the more it can amplify the energy of the stone that is placed inside of it.
I see. Do you know where I can find these crystal eyes?
They are extremely rare. Almost as rare in this world as, well, mutants are. I can't tell you anything more concrete than that. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you anyway. I left the Idol Crafter's village and decided to return to base. I was going back the way I came when I saw a mutant spider pig being attacked by a Pterodon, a fellow mutant. Hey, do you need help? Before I even managed to get close, the spider pig used a blast of mutant green energy to take down the Pterodon. Oh wow, it looks like you handled it just fine. Your powers are really strong. Do you want to lend them to me? The spider pig just shook its head and left. It didn't seem interested in sharing its power. So that's how it is. Every mutant for himself, I suppose. On days 54 to 57, I was still on my way home when Herma ambushed me out of the blue.
You thought you could escape, Zozo? Give me the power transfer stone.
Never, Herma. You'll just give it to your brother, Dr. Invertebrain, and he'll use it to take my powers away.
That is the plan.
His pincer attack hit me in the side, and it really hurt. I had taken a lot of damage, but fortunately, I was regenerating a lot faster than normal. This must be the power I got from Warpo, mutant regeneration.
So what if you can survive more of my attacks? I'll still cut you down to size.
Herma was a tough opponent, and even my mutant green energy blast wasn't able to scratch his powerful crab shell.
My brother used to practice his mutant powers on me all the time, so I've become resistant to it. You're nowhere near as strong as he is.
I only had one weapon left, and I needed to use it as a distraction. I blasted him with an Endurophage rocket. It didn't beat him, but it hurt him enough that I had time to escape. Meanwhile, Dr. Invertebrain was fighting a bunch of Geonox in a place that I had never been before. It turned out there was more than one power transfer stone in the world, and he was going to get the other one.
I should have done this a long time ago. Once I acquire the second power transfer stone, I'll outfit my idol with even greater crystal eyes, so I can transfer power from anywhere.
On days 58 to 62, I returned to find out that my base now looked almost exactly like the old Duchy of Dragons. The fire dragons in Tibernius had been rebuilding it into a brand new capital city for the dragons, since the previous one was destroyed. I decided to join in and build a statue that would make this new home even more special for all the dragons living here. It would surely be the talk of the base when it was complete. For now, it didn't look much like it would turn out to be. I also decided to place a bunch of fire pits to keep the base well lit, even when it was dark outside. That way, no one could get lost in the dark. I went to the training area and saw that it needed more weapons, so I built a bunch of iron swords for everyone to use and handed them over to Tibernius.
These are some exceptional swords, Zozo. I will make sure that they are in the hands of exceptional warriors. Back to training, everyone.
After all that crafting, I was running low on iron, so I returned to the mines and went searching for some more. While I was at it, I also mined for diamonds. The diamond ore was less common than the iron ore, but with enough effort, I was able to find some. At the end of the day, I had enough diamonds to craft a diamond helmet and diamond chestplate. On days 63 to 66, the blacksmith from the Idolmaker's village showed up at my base. Welcome to the new dragon base, blacksmith. I hope you have some good news to share with me.
I don't just have good news, I have great news. The village has located another source of crystal eyes, and these might be the purest form that we have ever found.
No way, that's incredible! If we can get those, then I'll be able to transfer Dr. Invertebrain's evil mutant powers to me and use them for good.
That's why I told you first. You were so nice when you came to visit the village. I thought we would lend you a hand in your quest.
Thank you so much. Will you lead me to where I can find the crystal eyes?
Of course, Zozo. Follow me.
We traveled away from the base for a couple days until we found the entrance to the crystal mine. The crystal eyes that we needed for the idol would be inside there, but it looked like it was guarded by some really big Geonox. Oh man, these guys guard everything cool. And if I remember right, they don't take much damage from mutant energy attacks.
Well, at least you know where it is now. We can come back when you are ready to take them on.
You're right. For now, we should be grateful that Dr. Invertebrain doesn't know where this is. On days 67 to 70, an old dragon friend came to see me at the base. It was Rusty. After all this time, he hadn't forgotten how we worked together to escape from those evil bar guests.
Zozo, it looks like you've gotten even more powerful since the last time I saw you.
You're looking very well too, Rusty.
I came by because another enemy is giving me trouble. I was hoping you could stand up to the mob so I could be safe. You know, like the last time we worked together.
Sure, Rusty. Anything for a friend. I followed Rusty back home to his farm, where a tremor elemental was destroying the fields.
That's the guy, Zozo. Go get him.
All right, Rusty, you wait inside. I'll handle this. I approached the tremor and tried a diplomatic approach to hopefully resolve the situation. But the tremor didn't listen. It just started attacking me instead. Have it your way then. I shot a blast of green energy at the tremor, stunning him in place. It seemed like my powers were growing even stronger. The tremor was helpless, so instead of defeating him, I spared him. You're not going to cause my friend Rusty any more trouble, but I do have a job for you, since you are an Earth Elemental. If you can talk to the big Geonox and have them let me into the Crystal Eye Mines, I'll treat you like a friend from now on. The tremor agreed, and because of that, I had a way into the Crystal Eye Mines when the time came, and that time would be arriving sooner than expected. On days 71 to 74, Herma had made his way to the base and was smashing down the dragons' houses. It was like the destruction of the duchy all over again. I can't let this happen to my dragon friends. Herma, you've gone too far.
Ooh, I'm shaking. Actually, no, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with joy because it's so much fun to stomp on your dragons.
My mutant powers wouldn't be that effective, so I focused on hitting it with my sword attacks and dodging his pincers using my wing boost. I had my regeneration, but even that wouldn't let me stay in the fight for long.
Nice try, Zozo, but you're not even half of the mutant my brother is. If I wanted to, I could end this right here, but instead, I'll just take your little power transfer stone.
With that, he hit me again and took the power transfer stone right out of my inventory. Give that back, Herma!
Oh, what are you gonna do about it? See you later, Zozo. My brother sends his regards.
Herma crab walked out of the base and was gone. The feeling of defeat almost broke my heart, but I decided not to give up hope. I built back the parts of the base Herma destroyed and equipped the walls with cannons in case he returned. The time would soon arrive when the dragons would have to face not just Herma, but our real enemy, the evil mutant Dr. Invertebrain. Speaking of that dastardly villain, he had found the village of the Idolcrafters and was using his greater mutant powers to threaten them into revealing the location of the pure crystal eyes.
By now, my brother has successfully taken the first of the power transfer stones from Zozo. Once I get the purest crystal eyes, my idol will be able to take the power not only from Zozo, but from every mutant in the world. I will become the ultimate mutant just as I had planned to!
On days 75 to 78, Duke Zed announced that he and the Fire Dragon would be leaving to go back into hiding. I tried to persuade him to stay at the base where it was safe. Why do you have to leave, Zed? This base could be a new home for all dragonkind. Everyone worked so hard on it.
There is no point in staying here when Dr. Invertebrain could show up and destroy it, just like he did to our original home. Now that his brother Herma has the other power transfer stone, it is only a matter of time before he steals your power and becomes too powerful to stop.
What if I could take the stone back from Herma before he gives it to the doctor? I know that I failed before, but I refuse to give up when everybody needs me.
Very well, young dragon. I had always had high hopes for you and your courage has inspired me. Take this dragon orb. It will enhance your powers enough that you might be able to take the power transfer stone back.
Duke handed me a dragon orb, and I could feel the magic giving me a new level of power. Yes. But it didn't feel the same as my mutant powers. When you said powers, did you mean my mutant powers?
I mean your dragon powers. You were born to be the next Duke of Dragons. Wow. Hibernius saw that potential in you, and I am choosing to believe in it again. Go now, and fight to save dragonkind.
I will, Duke Zed. Thank you for giving me the strength to fight. I left the base with the dragon orb and followed the tracks that Herma left behind. On days 79 to 84, I found Herma's base. It looked like a coliseum, and from the looks of things, Dr. Invertebrain hadn't shown up here yet, so there was still a chance that I could take back the power transfer stone. Yes. Herma, I'm here to fight you and take back the power transfer stone.
Haven't you learned your lesson? Like I said before, you're not half the mutant my brother is.
That may be true, but I'm more of a dragon than either of you, and Duke Zed gave me the dragon orb so I could win.
So that was Zed's plan. Let's see how it goes.
Even with the power of the dragon orb, Herma was incredibly tough. My attacks could damage him, but I still couldn't rely on my mutant powers. I flew up and dive-bombed him from above, but it was no use. Even if I had more anti-aerophage rockets, the battle was still going against me.
Time to call it quits, Zozo.
Herma swung its pincer at me. My regeneration wasn't fast enough. It looked like it was going to be lights out.
Not so fast.
When all hope was lost, Tibernius showed up and covered the arena in smoke. Thanks to that, we were able to sneak away. But Herma managed to hit Tibernius in the smoke. Tibernius, you're hurt.
Don't worry about me, Zozo. I have something you might want.
He gave me a power transfer stone.
I've always wondered what would happen if a non-mutant tried to transfer power through it. What do you say, Zozo? Will you accept my fire powers?
Of course! Let's fry this crab! I used the power transfer stone and sent all of the fire powers of a sunbird into me. Now I could breathe fire just like a dragon. I was now larger, stronger, and capable of shooting strong flames. My heart's even doubled. You're toast, Herma.
Brother, I have failed you. No!
With Tibernius's powers, I defeated the crab and was able to keep the stone. On days 85 to 89, I collected more materials on the way back to the base. I could use these to complete the statue that I was planning to build for the dragons. I made it home and immediately put the finishing touches on it. It was a statue of a mighty fire dragon, a sign of strength, and a show of respect for all of the fire dragons that had moved on from this world so far. Of course, there was still the matter of defeating Invertebrain. With the help of the Tremor Elemental, I was able to talk my way past the giant Geonox and enter the mine with the crystal eyes. I went deep into the mine shaft where the villagers told me the purest crystal eye could be found. This mine was deeper and shinier than any I had ever been in, but because the crystal eyes were inside, I bravely made my way further in. When I made it to the chamber of the crystal eyes, I found a chest guarded by a giant lurker. The powerful enemy ran at me on sight and tried to bite me, but I was in my most powerful form now. I defeated it with a single blast from my fire breath and claimed the crystal eyes for myself. As I grabbed it though, I was temporarily poisoned due to the chest being trapped. On days 90 to 94, I returned to the entrance of the Crystal Eye Mine and found that Dr. Invertebrain was waiting for me. Of course, you were after the Crystal Eyes too. I should have known.
And thanks to you, I don't have to bother getting past those Geonox Guardians. Seems like you are helping me again, Zozo. Just like old times.
I will never help you again, Dr. Invertebrain. You betrayed me. I got those crystal eyes for one reason, to defeat you and save the dragons from your reign of destruction.
It wasn't me who betrayed you. You were the one who betrayed me. All you had to do was give up your mutant powers and you could live freely. But you sided with the dragons instead. And then you destroyed my brother. This is a warning, Zozo. Hand over the crystal eyes, and I will spare you after I take your powers. Disobey me, and I will wipe out both you and all the dragons, including Duke Zed.
I'm not afraid of you. I may not be as mutated as you, but I have Tibernius's fire powers and the dragon orb. I am everything that my friends made me. I will win.
So be it. This is your destruction!
Invertebrain used his strongest mutant powers against me, and it was even more than the level of power he was using when he destroyed the Duchy of Dragons. Back then, a single attack would have knocked me out in one hit, and even though I was stronger, the damage was still too much to handle. He knocked me down with a blast of mutant energy, and while I was stunned, took the crystal eyes away from me. How can you still be this strong?
How can you still be that weak? Whoa! Pitiful dragon, you will soon know what it means to be the only one of your kind, after I steal your mutant powers, that is.
Dr. Invertebrain got away with the crystal eyes. Even now, I was powerless to stop him. The hole he left behind was giant. On days 95 to 97, I was able to call upon enough mutant power to fly out of the hole that Dr. Invertebrain had trapped me in. Yes. Since I still had my powers, I knew that there was time to warn the others. Instead of heading to the base, I remembered what Zed told me and went to the underground to find him. If anyone could back me up in my next fight against the evil doctor, it had to be the Duke of Dragons. When I made it to where the fire dragons had been hiding out, I saw that I had been too late. Dr. Invertebrain had already found the dragon's secret base and attacked them. The dragons were injured, and it looked like many of them wouldn't make it.
Zozo, is that you? Zed is over that way, and he doesn't have much time either. You must talk to him before he goes.
I nodded and made my way to where Zed was lying down, dying. It was a sad sight to see the Duke of Dragons like that. Zed, I'm here. I'm so sorry. If you had the dragon orb, maybe this wouldn't have—
It's okay, young dragon. I always knew you were the only one who could stop our greatest nemesis, Invertebrain. He always planned to use the mutant power inside of you to conquer the world. And that is why he stole your egg from us before you hatched.
How do you know that, Zed? I didn't know where I came from before I hatched.
I remember your egg, a mutant dragon egg. It was different from the others, but still a dragon. Still my son, the next Duke of Dragons.
Zed, you're my dad?
Yes, young dragon. And when I'm gone, you will be crowned the Duke of Dragons. Take care of them, my son.
Zed was gone. I now knew everything. Invertebrain tried to raise me as his own, so he could someday take my powers away. But everything he tried had failed. The mutant he tried to steal would now become the dragon who defeated him. On day 98, I made it back to the base and found it in ruins. It seemed that Dr. Invertebrain had kept his wicked promise and wiped out the dragons. The fire dragons, the ones from the duchy, and even Rusty. Every last one of them had been destroyed. It was horrible. On some level, I felt like it was all my fault, and the guilt of not being able to save them weighed heavily on me. Was this your plan, Invertebrain? To take everyone I cared about away, so I wouldn't have anything left to fight for? It was only a matter of time until my powers were transferred to Dr. Invertebrain. He would get to that island with the idol, and then I wouldn't stand a chance against him. This is hopeless.
There is always hope, Zozo. Your father believed this.
Tibernius!
Look at me, Zozo. I gave my fire powers to you because I believed in you. And even in my powerless form, I still believe in you.
What can we do? He was always stronger than me, and even if I win, I can't bring everyone back.
Perhaps you can. Remember what powers you have now. If you have the pure crystal eyes, you'll be able to transfer power into yourself, but also to others.
Of course. If I transfer your fire power to the dragons, along with my regeneration, the combined power could revive them.
There's only one way to find out. Let's take those crystal eyes back.
Together, Tibernius and I vowed to do just that. On day 99, I raced to the Idol Island to confront Dr. Invertebrain. The 2 power transfer stones and crystal eyes were floating next to the idol, and he was about to combine them. I dive-bombed over and grabbed the crystal eyes and power stones from the magic stones they were on.
Zozo, you dare disobey me again?
I dare. You thought you could crush my spirit, but like I've said time and time again, I don't give up.
You're not thinking straight, that's why. Only I have the brains to rule this world. You should have just let me do the thinking.
Your thinking stinks, Doc. I'm going to fix the damage you've done. I flew high into the sky with the crystal eyes and power transfer stones, then glided over the water to land on the mainland shore. There was no way that crab could catch up to me now. I zoomed back to the base and placed those pure crystal eyes next to the idol that I had built many days ago. Then I flipped a switch to combine them. Please work, please work! I let my powers go, and they flowed into the machine to be given to all of my fallen dragon friends. The fires within the dragons began to reignite, and they regenerated back to life. Rusty was the first to show up. He ran over to me and jumped for joy.
I'm saved. You did it, Zozo. Giving us your mutant regeneration power saved us.
Don't forget the fire power too, courtesy of Tibernius.
You better believe I won't forget it. I feel all warm inside and fired up. Put an end to that Dr. Invertebrain once and for all.
Thanks, Rusty. I'll make sure to defeat that Brainiac once and for all, and make the land safe for all mutants and dragons alike. On day 100, Dr. Invertebrain looked up to the sky and saw me flying towards him.
What? What are you doing back here?
After saving all of the dragons by sharing my power with them, I've come back to finish this. You're going down, Brainiac.
Curse you, Zozo! If you think you can beat me now, I promise you that you are still too weak.
Maybe alone I was, but not with everyone having my back. All of my friends believe in me, and I refuse to give up or let them down. I attacked and blasted Dr. Invertebrain with my flame. That wore him down enough that I could face him in close quarter combat. We battled, mutant against mutant, hitting each other with all we had. He was strong and evil, but I didn't let up for even a moment. You tried to control me, to take everything from me. But now, I will defy you again, and it'll be the last time you order me around.
Zozo, think about what you are doing.
I fired up one final blast of my remaining fire mutant energy and destroyed him!
No!
The battle was over. Now the rebuilding of the Dragon Duchy could begin, and all mutant and dragon kind could finally live in peace and harmony. I may have been born a mutant, but because of my heart, everyone was now free to be who they truly are. On day 1, I spawned in as a baby dragon. Whoa, I'm no ordinary dragon. I'm a Warden dragon. I opened my mouth and shot out some dragon breath, then shot off a sonic boom. They were both pretty weak, but still cool. That's when I noticed a nearby Ender Dragon and Warden. Hey, I have the same powers as you guys. You must be my parents. My mom and dad were excited to see me, and everything was happy. But suddenly, a big buff evil Steve came out of nowhere.
What's this? A warden and a dragon combined? I already hate dragons, but a dragon combined with a warden is even worse.
Run, Zozo. We'll hold him off.
I wanted to help, but she was right. I was too weak. As I watched the battle, I saw that Buff Steve was able to destroy my dad. No, how can he be so powerful? Buff Steve then captured my mom. I had to hurry away.
You get back over here, or your mom will never be free.
Don't worry about me. Run to a portal and destroy it behind you.
I listened to my mother like any good boy should, and ran away before Buff Steve could capture me. I ran into a nether portal to escape. On day 2, I came teleporting through a nether portal, landing in the overworld. I turned and shot off my sonic boom, destroying the portal behind me. I don't know how much time that buys me, but I have to get stronger to save my mom. If I was going to save my mom, I had to get the gear to do it. Using my claws, I began gathering up some nearby materials in order to build a base. I don't need anything fancy yet, I just need something that can keep me safe. Speaking of being safe, I was suddenly attacked by a bear. Get back! I have claws too! But trying to win this fight was foolish. I had no choice but to run. Oh boy, it looks like the overworld is just as dangerous as the nether. I kept running until I found myself on a nice, steep mountain. If I hollow this place out, this could make for a perfect base. Excited with the idea, I got right to it, building my base. I have so many ideas of how I can improve it, but we'll start simple for now. Soon, the start of the base was ready. I feel like it's going pretty good so far. Tomorrow will bring me one step closer to saving my mom. On day 3, I kept mining down into the mountain when I popped out on the other side. But as luck would have it, there was something unexpected. Is that an ender dragon nest? It looked like there was an egg inside of it too. Just then, a phantom appeared. He got closer to the egg. He was going to eat it. Oh no you don't, the dragons are my friends! The phantom clearly didn't expect anyone to be here, and I was able to hit him hard. In no time, I managed to take him out. Finally, it feels good not to run away for once. And what's this? The phantom had dropped some phantom skin, which I picked up. With it gone, I was able to get really close to the egg. That's when I saw there was a note nearby. My dear child, if you are reading this, then something has happened to me. I was setting out in search of food for us. It is very likely that a powerful being called Steve may come after us. He collects powerful creatures like us dragons. Take care and stay safe. Oh no, it's not just me. Dragons everywhere are in trouble. It's not enough to just save my mom from Buff Steve. I'm going to have to defeat him. I quickly picked up the egg to take it back to my base. I could keep it safe there. On days 4 to 5, I arrived back at my base. I got right to work building an incubator for the egg. If it was going to hatch safely, it needed a good environment to thrive in. Just as I finished up, I heard a noise outside. I ran out and saw even more phantoms. Oh man, you guys really want this egg! Well, just try and take it. The phantoms did their best to take me out, but they were no match for me. They would have to try harder than that if they wanted to win. With the 2 phantoms defeated, I picked up the phantom skin they had dropped. Oh, I know just what to make with this! I went over to my crafting table and used the phantom skin to make myself some phantom skin armor. It was about as strong as leather armor, but it would be better than nothing. On days 6 to 8, I was starting to get hungry and decided to go look for food. I was a little nervous about leaving the egg behind, but if I couldn't get food, then no one would be able to protect it. I soon came across a village. Hi there, please, do you have any food to spare? The villagers took one look at me and ran away. I guess they weren't used to meeting friendly dragons, or friendly wardens for that matter. Well, no one is around, so bon appetit. I got right to work attacking the animals around. Sure, it felt bad to hurt other animals, but hey, a dragon's gotta eat. And there's no way I was going to eat a salad.
At last, I found you!
I looked and saw Buff Steve standing there. This time he had on dragon armor. He was even stronger than before. You, what do you want?
Isn't it obvious? You!
He clearly wasn't in the mood to chat, and I had no choice but to fight. I started swinging, but it was clear he was too strong.
Looks like you're all mine.
I saw a window to escape, and I took it. I had to get out of there, and fast.
You might have slipped away this time, but mark my words, I'll find you.
He was probably right, but today was not that day. On days 9 to 10, I had made it back to my base. That's when I heard a noise coming from the incubator. Oh no, the egg is in trouble! I ran into the room to find the egg was still there, but it was hatching. Suddenly, a small baby ender dragon climbed out.
Are you my mom?
Who, me? No, I'm Zozo.
Oh, so where's my mom?
I'm not sure, but she left this note in your nest. It was there when I found you, and then I brought you here to keep you safe. The little dragon read the note. I guess being able to read was a gift us dragons get at birth.
I see. I wish I could have just stayed in my egg. It's sad out here.
Hey, it's okay. There's a lot of cool things to do in the world too.
Really? Like what?
I thought about it for a moment, then told her to follow me. I instructed her to mine out a big room in the mountain because we were going to build a cool statue. I wanted to be sure we built it out of sight though, so Buff Steve wouldn't be able to find our base. The little dragon seemed to really enjoy the creative process and was much happier as we finished the first part. This is a good start, but do you have any guesses as to what it's going to be? I then got to work building her a room to stay in. I knew how hard it was to get your mom taken away from you, so I wanted to be sure she was happy and comfortable. Soon, her room was completed too. On days 11 to 12, the little dragon came out of her room to chat.
Hey Zozo, what's my name?
Oh, I guess you were born yesterday and could probably use one of those. How about Sivith?
Sivith? Yeah, that sounds cool. Oh, and Zozo?
Yeah, Sivith?
I'm hungry.
Oh, right. Hang tight. I'll get both of us something to eat. I went out into the land to try and find some crows to eat. After a bit of searching, I spotted a few. As I got closer though, I spotted a human nearby. Oh no, it's Steve! I went to run away when they called out to me.
Wait, little dragon!
That's when I realized it wasn't Buff Steve. I waited until they got a little closer.
Hey, don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you like Steve. My name is Alex.
What do you want?
I want to help you. Steve and I used to be friends, but not anymore.
What happened?
Steve and I used to adventure together, along with our friend Brianna. One day we were exploring the Nether and came across the Nether Dragon. The dragon didn't mind us being there until Brianna decided to mess with the dragon's eggs. There's something magical about them, and Brianna got too close. The Nether Dragon destroyed her as the three of us tried to escape. I was sad, but Steve was angry. He vowed to take revenge on all dragons. He finds them and locks them away in his base as revenge. Through this, he has become stronger, but more evil, turning into what he is today. I feel like it's my responsibility to stop him.
Thank you for sharing that with me. He captured my mom and my friend's mom. If we team up, we can stop him.
Yes, I was thinking that as well. Although, I think it's important for me to keep searching for more dragons, so I can warn them about Steve. But here, take this horn. If you ever need to talk to me, you can use this.
I took the horn and thanked her for her help. Maybe we could defeat him after all. On days 13 to 15, I continued looking for food as I thought about everything Alex had told me. Oh no, it's that bear again! I have to fight him off, otherwise I might not be able to find more food for days. I was stronger now, so I charged in to fight. The bear was still really strong and really packed a punch. But everyone was counting on me. I couldn't lose. I kept swinging and finally took him out. What's this? I feel so much more powerful. Suddenly, I leveled up, growing in size and gaining more hearts. Whoa, I feel amazing! If I keep growing like this, maybe I can actually stop Buff Steve. I quickly gathered up the chickens and started leading them back to the base. On days 16 through 19, I arrived back at the base with the chickens. I got right to work building a coop for them to live in. Once the coop was complete, I went over to Sivith to tell her about the chickens, and also Alex.
This Alex sounds really nice, but I do have one question about everything you told me.
What's that?
Why are we eating eggs? Dragons come out of eggs too, so that seems kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different. Try not to think about it too much. I left Sivith to think about life and got to work building a mine. I might be able to grow in strength, but I can also build strength by making better armor and weapons. Speaking of which, I found some iron. Oh, perfect. I can finally get rid of my leather armor. This is great. Back in the base, I smelted down all of the iron, then used the iron to make myself a fresh set of armor and weapons. I'm feeling better already. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with a bad feeling in my stomach. I went to Sivith's room and saw she was missing. Sivith? Sivith, where are you? Just then, I heard another sound. It was the horn Alex had given me. She was calling me. I ran out of the base toward the sound. Maybe Alex knew what had happened to her. Soon, I saw Alex. What's going on?
Zozo, I called for you as soon as I could. I caught sight of Steve. He was chasing a baby dragon. That's not your friend, right?
I don't know. It might be. She wasn't in her room this morning.
Oh no. I'm not strong enough to face Steve yet, but I'll tell you where you need to go.
Alex explained where she saw them, and I hurried off. I soon got to the place Alex described and saw Steve was about to capture Sivith. I had to do something. Hold it right there, Steve. I jumped between the two of them.
Out of my way. I hate dragons, and this one is no different. Wait, you're that Warden dragon I saw earlier. You're the worst kind of dragon of all.
Quick, Sivith, run! Steve wasn't paying attention, and Sivith was able to get away. Steve was then so distracted by her escaping that I was able to escape too.
Hang on, you're not getting away this time.
Steve chased after us, and I tried to knock him back while Sivith got away. He was still too strong, but I was able to get enough hits in to stop him from capturing us. Sivith managed to get away. Soon after, I was able to lose Steve in the trees. Sivith and I met back up, then hurried back to the base. On days 23 to 26, Sivith and I arrived back at the base. I was really worried about what had happened.
I'm so sorry, Zozo. Are you mad at me?
That depends. What happened? Did Steve find our base?
No, I left to go and find more supplies to upgrade our stuff when Steve came out of nowhere and tried to grab me. So you don't need to be mad because he didn't find our base.
I would have been worried if he found our base, but I'm mad that you left. You could have been captured and I would have never seen you again. I could tell Sivith felt really bad. Look, it's okay. I'm sorry for being mad. I know you were just trying to help, but right now it's too risky. Promise me you'll stay at the base from now on?
Okay, I promise. But Zozo?
Yeah?
Before Steve popped out, I did see something interesting. I think you should go check it out.
Sivith explained where I needed to go, and she was right. It did sound like a good place to go. Nice one, Sivith. I'll go take a look. After a bit, I arrived at the place she described. It was a large temple. I stepped inside and was immediately attacked by a bunch of husks. Oh, go drink some water, you dust heads. The husks did their best to bring me down, but I took them out first. After the last one had disappeared, I saw something interesting. Oh, and what might this be? I took a look and saw that there was a bone sword. Wow, this is cool! That's when I realized that the sword also gave me a special ability. Now I could spit spikes. Now that is awesome and mildly confusing. I tested it out, sending spikes shooting at the wall. As I hit the wall, murals started to appear. Just then, a mummy came out and attacked me. Oh, someone is jealous of my spit takes. I kept launching spit spikes at him, slowly wearing him down. He was not a fan, but it didn't matter because I had to survive this. Soon enough, he was gone. So what's up with these murals? I took a closer look and realized they told the story of an epic adventure. One you can watch if you search for my channel, Zozo, Z-O-Z-O. This is when I survived 100 days as Moses. You'll really like that one if you're liking this one so far. On days 27 to 31, I had left the temple and arrived back at the base. As I entered my base, I could barely recognize Sivith. She was now the same size as me. Wow, Sivith, you're even stronger now, and I know just the way to celebrate. Sivith and I headed out to do some more work on the statue. Sivith felt like a little sister to me, and I was happy to have someone on my side. Together we could do anything. We were finishing up the next part of the statue when Sivith had a thought of her own to share.
This is looking good, but something isn't quite right. Feels like it could use a different material.
I think you're right, and I know just what to get. I took off to grab the material I had in mind. I am a little bigger now. I wonder if I can fly. I gave it a shot and found that while I couldn't fly, I could glide. Well, that's better than nothing. I soon arrived at the bottom of the hole, but was soon attacked by straddlers. Out of my way, I've got a statue to save. The straddlers did their best to knock me down, but they were no match for me. With them out of the way, I quickly found what I was looking for. This amethyst is just what we need. I can't wait to see if it looks good on the statue. I mined up as much amethyst as I thought we'd need, then got ready to head back to the base. The statue is going to look amazing now. On days 32 to 35, I was on my way back to the base when I was attacked out of nowhere by piglins. What are you nosy oinkers doing out here? I fought them off using everything I had until the last of them were defeated. That's when I heard something nearby. Hey, were you hiding from the piglins? It's okay now.
The dragon is talking to me.
The villager was so scared and tried to get away from me. But just then, another piglin popped out and started chasing after him. Hey, watch out! I rushed over and took on the piglin. In no time, I was able to defeat him.
You saved me? Wow, thanks.
No problem. Where did all of these piglins come from anyway?
I'm not sure, but my village is full of them. We could really use someone like you to come and clear them out for us. Would you be willing to help?
Say no more. I'm on the case. On days 36 to 39, I followed the villager back to his village. As we got closer, I could see he was right. The village was full of piglins. Let's try to get a better view of what's going on. We snuck around the outside of the town to get a better viewpoint of what was happening.
You see that structure in the middle of the town? That's where everyone is probably hiding out.
Got it. Hang back. I'm going to rush in there and get everyone out.
Whoa, hang on. I know you took those guys out back there, but those were just low-level scouts. You can't hope to take on all of those guys down there at once.
Okay, so what do you suggest?
It will be nighttime soon enough. I think we might be able to sneak in and get everyone out safely.
I'm good with that plan. We'll give it a shot. On days 40 to 43, the villager and I waited for nightfall. Soon, we saw that the piglins had begun falling asleep. It was time to make our move. Let's do this. We snuck into the village, doing our best to keep quiet. Even the smallest of noises could wake up the piglins. Which just then, there was a clang. My new villager friend accidentally bumped into something.
Sorry.
It was too late though. The piglins were awake and not happy to see us. Looks like it's plan A after all. My new friend was right. These piglins were much stronger than the scouts I had fought outside the village. What he wasn't right about though was my ability to take them on. I was tough, and the piglins fell one by one as I took them out. Soon enough, they were all defeated.
Zozo, you did it!
We then went over to the scared villagers, who weren't exactly happy to see me.
Don't worry, everyone. He's a friend. I know dragons can be scary, but Zozo here was the one who rescued all of us. We owe him our lives.
The villagers were happy to find out I wasn't there to eat them, and it felt good for people to see me as the hero.
Thanks again, Zozo. And in the future, if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know.
Will do. Now I've got a statue to go work on. On days 44 to 49, I returned to my base and got to work adding the amethyst to the statue. Sivith was right. This was just what it needed. All right, now we're making some good progress, but still have a ways to go. What do you think so far? All of the building and rescuing from the previous days had made me realize how badly I needed to be protecting myself from attack, so I made sure to do some work on the base. We were going to need strong defenses and traps if Steve ever found us. It had been a while since I had run into him, but I was sure something was going to happen with him soon. On days 50 to 53, I received a message from Alex. Steve and his goons were on the way to my base. How did they find us?
All I know is that he was told something by a villager.
A villager? After everything I did for that guy, he still didn't trust me.
Oh, no, not the guy that was working with you. Just someone from his village.
Still, it's a shame they would sell us out like that. Well, thanks for the warning. I'll go tell Sivith. I ran over to Sivith. Get ready, Sivith. They're coming for us, and we're going to be in for the fight of our lives. Meanwhile, outside the castle, Steve soon arrived with a gang of other players.
Oh, Zozo, the jig is up. We're here for you and that little friend of yours.
I don't care what you want. We didn't do anything to you. Let us live our lives in peace.
Peace is not an option. Attack!
Steve motioned for two of his soldiers to charge. As they got closer to the door, our trap started firing arrows, which quickly took them out. You're smarter than you look, but there's plenty more where that came from. Next up came an archer, who did their best to try and disable our traps, shooting flaming arrows into them. Unfortunately, that seemed to do the trick, and the trap stopped working. Two griefers came up to the door, laid some TNT, and lit it. But suddenly, the traps came back to life, taking out the archer and trapping the griefers in. There was an explosion, which took them out, but also took out the traps and door. The base was open now, though, and the players started to run in, but not before falling into my pitfall trap. Another noob tried running in too, but fell right into the hole. Just then, someone vented in through the side and took a look in the hole. Unfortunately for them, their Spec Ops teammate popped in and knocked them down the hole. These guys really need to learn to work together. He filled in the hole, and the rest of the team charged in. Bring it on! The players charged at me, while I did my best to fight them off. Leave us alone! We didn't do anything to you! Most of the players were pretty weak, but I could hear someone setting off explosions in the background. I had to hurry. I had defeated most of the players, when one stronger one with a flaming sword stepped up to fight. Look man, you don't want to mess with me. The player simply attacked. His flaming sword was really strong and kept setting me on fire. Yeah, okay, I see why people don't like Dragon's fire breath. Ouch! He was tough, but my attacks were getting the job done. I could tell he was getting weak, and I got him lined up with the edge. Have a good flight! I hit him hard, sending him flying over the edge. Just then, I felt the energy surge through me, and I grew into an even bigger dragon with more hearts. Yes, I feel amazing! Just then, I heard Sivith let out a cry. She was in trouble. I looked and saw she had been captured by Steve. Ha ha ha! Say goodbye to your little friend. Steve ran out of the base with Sivith in chains. I've got to stop him! I ran out of the base, but 2 more of Steve's players were waiting for me. They weren't very strong, but they gave Steve enough time to get away. I knocked them out, but it was too late. Hang on, Sivith, I'll find you! On days 54 to 57, I got out the horn and gave Alex a call. She arrived soon after.
Zozo, you look so sad. What's wrong?
They got Sivith. I've never felt so hopeless. Do you know where they might be taking her?
I'm sorry, Zozo. I really wish I could help, but I have no idea where they could be going.
I could tell Alex felt really bad, and she offered me some raw beef to cheer me up.
Look, we'll find her. In the meantime, let's get this place fixed up. You won't be of any use to Sivith if they come back and capture you too.
I agreed, and Alex and I got to work repairing the base. We had soon finished up the repairs, but I was still feeling a little bit down. One thing that I thought might help, though, was working on the statue. Alex offered to help on that as well, which made me grateful to have a friend in her. I was so worried about myself and my problems, I hadn't really thought much about what Alex was going through. Thanks for all of your help, Alex. I know you're going through a lot too, so it means a lot you are willing to help me.
Anytime, Zozo. Now take care. I've got some things to take care of.
I said goodbye and got ready for bed. Tomorrow I would figure out what I needed to do to save Sivith. On days 58 to 62, I headed into the mines. I didn't know where I needed to go to find Sivith, but I knew I needed to be stronger before I could do anything anyway. As I explored the mines, I was suddenly attacked by silverfish. Ah, these guys have always grossed me out. They were quick little buggers and hard to hit. Lucky for me though, I was able to take them out without taking too much damage. I continued into the mines and soon found some diamonds. Excellent, this is just what I need. I swung my pickaxe and gathered up lots of diamonds. I was going to have much better gear now. With all of my diamonds collected, I made my way back out of the mines. Back in my base, I got right to work crafting all of the diamond gear that I could. Steve wasn't going to know what hit him. On day 63 to 66, I woke up with a brilliant idea. I might not know where Steve is, but I know someone who might. And something tells me they are not going to be happy to see me. I took off towards the village I had saved days earlier. It was time to have a chat with the villager who ratted me out. As I arrived in the village, I saw my friend from earlier. I explained the situation to him, as well as who I was looking for.
I'm sorry to hear it, but I can't say I'm surprised. Billiam has always been the village rat. I know just where you can find him.
We headed off and found Billiam.
Whoa, you're, bigger than the last time we saw you.
I am. I'm quite a bit stronger, too. I can break little villagers like you with no problem.
Oh, wow, yeah. Well, you're not gonna do that, are you?
That's up to you. My home was attacked by Steve and his goons. My friend was taken prisoner. I can't forgive this, but I might be able to look past it if you tell me where I can find her.
I'm sorry, but I don't know where they might have taken her.
Uh-oh, that's the wrong answer. I took a deep breath and got ready to blast him.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. I don't know where they would have taken her, but I can tell you where to find Steve's messenger that I talked to.
I thought about it and decided that was probably the best thing I was going to get from this guy. All right then, looks like today's your lucky day. William spilled everything he knew about where I could find this messenger. After he had told me everything, I headed out. Something tells me Billiam is not going to be very welcome in his village anymore. Sounds like that's in the best interest of everybody. On day 67 to 70, I arrived at the fortress that Billiam had told me about. I charged up to the base and immediately started attacking the guards. Where is your leader? Where is Sivith? The guards weren't interested in my questions and simply did their best to fight me off. But my friend was in danger and nothing was going to stop me. Out of my way, tin heads! As I fought my way through, I soon came across an even bigger guard. This guy was tougher than the first ones, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. He swung at me and did some serious damage. It really hurt, but I swung back and was able to take him out. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I had made it into the castle, and more of the big guys were trying to take me down. They swung, I dodged, and knocked their blocks off. Hang on, Sivith, I'm coming! On days 71 to 74, I had officially made it into the fortress. It was as if the whole base had been alerted to my presence, as every bad guy in the place was swarming in on me. I don't care how many of you there are, I'm going to make it to the top. As I knocked guard after guard out of my way, I eventually found myself inside a library. Wait a second, what's this? I had found some kind of special item. With this, I have the strongest spike attack I can get. Excited with my new ability, I immediately put it to the test. There were some guards up on the balconies, and I managed to take them out. Oh yeah, whoever this guy is, he's in for a real surprise. On days 75 to 78, I made it to what looked like the lair of the castle's boss. You there, you must know where Steve is keeping his prisoners. Tell me, or else.
Heh, you really think I'm gonna help a dragon? Look at me. Steve has been stealing the power of the dragons to make us stronger, and there's no way you'll be able to defeat me.
What? What does he hope to gain from all of this?
Not only will he finally destroy all dragons, but he will become a powerful dragon himself. Then no one can stop us.
Yeah? Well, this dragon isn't going to let that happen. Bring it on! The henchman and I started to fight. I did my best to fight him off, but since he had been given dragon powers, he was incredibly strong. This wasn't going to be a simple fight. Do you really think Steve will let you live your life once he's king? He's going to turn on anyone who has even a little bit of power.
Silence! You don't know what you're talking about. But it doesn't matter, because you're going to lose.
It looked like there was no talking sense into this guy. The fight was getting intense, but it was time to end it. I focused all of my energy, used all of my attacks, and at long last, I won! The henchman was nearly defeated.
No! How could I lose to a measly dragon?
Last chance, tell me where Steve's base is.
Never!
The henchman leapt forward to attack me, but I took him out instead. Well, maybe there's something around here that can help me out. On day 79 to 84, I started taking a look around the castle. Wait, what's this? Inside of a chest was a bunch of golden apples. Suddenly, there was a sound outside. As I ran out to look, I could see Steve in the distance, and he was looking right at me.
Ah, Zozo, just the one I was looking for.
What do you want, Steve? Where's Sivith?
Who? Who cares? All you need to know is I finally finished my potion. The power of the dragons is finally mine. I received word you were here, so I thought I'd let you be the first one to see.
Steve drank down a potion and suddenly started to change. He turned into a disfigured but powerful dragon. Steve, what have you done?
Ha ha ha. Here, let me show you up close.
Steve took off into the air and flew toward me. I was strong, but not strong enough for this. I couldn't even fly yet. I had no choice but to run.
Come on, Zozo, what's the problem? Afraid of a little fire?
I kept running toward my base as Steve continued to chase me. I had to get to cover. We ran across the land and I finally snuck into my base. Steve flew around for a bit, but realized he couldn't fit inside. After a while, he left. I fear for the worst with Sivith. Is she still alive? On days 85 to 89, I got out of bed after a sleepless night. I had no idea if Steve would be waiting for me outside, and I couldn't risk going out there. I went back over to my statue. I had planned on completing it with Sivith, but I was worried I might not have that chance. I worked on completing the final part. Well, it's all done. It reminds me of Sivith, and she would have been proud of what we did here. I only hope I can avenge her and save everyone else from Steve's insanity. I was feeling more confident than before and stepped over to the ledge. Maybe I was strong enough to fly. I leapt over the edge and sure enough, I was able to get my wings going and fly. Yes, finally! I took some time to get used to flying. Luckily, it looked like Steve had left the area. I was able to get some good practice in when I heard Alex sounding off on her horn. I flew toward the sound and saw Alex was waiting for me.
Zozo, you did it! You're flying! This is great news!
Thanks! I just wish I knew where Steve's base was. One way or another, I've got to end this.
Well, I've got some good news for you. I found it!
I couldn't believe it. Maybe now we could finally get revenge for all the wrongs Steve had done. Even though I was feeling stronger though, I was still worried about how we could defeat Steve.
Steve is afraid of anything that might harm him, so he likes to keep that close to him. When we get to his base, we should take a look around. There might be something there that can help.
On days 90 to 94, I flew to Steve's base. As I landed outside the base, I met up with Alex. Wait a second, how did you beat me here? I was flying.
Oh, I have another highway set up, so I can get around pretty quick.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So have you seen Steve?
Not yet. I think you should be good to head inside. I'll wait out here and let you know if Steve shows up.
Sounds like a plan. Stay safe. I took off and flew over the wall, landing in the courtyard. The place was full of half-dragon guards. Oh man, what happened to you guys? As I fought off the guards, I realized that these must have been Steve's failed dragon transformation experiments. That guy was twisted. Even though they were failed experiments, they were still really strong. I was able to hold them off, but I lost some pieces of my armor in the process. Whew, okay, that was tough. Let's move in deeper and see what we can find. On days 95 to 97, I moved even deeper into the base. Jeez, this place is huge! I soon found myself in what looked to be a forge room. I decided to take a look around and see if I could find anything that could help me in my fight. There was a cool dragon statue nearby. Then I noticed a chest was near it. I wonder what could be in here. I opened the chest and saw it was full of netherite gear. This just might give me the boost I need to win the fight. I kept on exploring when suddenly I was attacked by more of Steve's minions. How many of you guys are there? I smacked as many of them out of the way as I could. If there were guys down here, I must be getting close. I was finally going to be able to get my revenge. After I defeated the last of the minions, I came face to face with another one of Steve's stronger dragon guards. The last fight against one of you was hard. Let's hope this time can be better. We both sprang into action, hitting each other and firing off different attacks. He was still really strong, but my new equipment was doing its job. I managed to get him lined up with a cliff. Hang on to your horns! I gave him a good whack and sent him flying over the edge to his doom. Bet you wish you had the power to fly. On day 98, I moved even deeper into the base. It was starting to get really cold and wet. How deep underground had I gone? More guards? No problem. At this point, I was getting pretty good at fighting these guards. That's when I realized there was a dragon in a cage nearby. It was Sivith. I defeated the last of the guards, then hurried over to the cages. Hang on, I'll get you out. I used my sonic attack and opened up the cage, freeing my small friend. I was excited to see she was still alive, but had a question to ask her. I was scared to ask, but I had to know the answer. Sivith, I'm so happy you're alive. Have you by any chance seen my mother down here? A sad expression came over Sivith's face.
I have, but unfortunately she's gone. We were only both here for a short while, but I believe she saved my life.
What do you mean?
When Steve came to extract her powers from her, she gave him even more power than she needed to.
More power? Why would she do that? That just let him turn into a dragon sooner.
It's true, but you have to understand that she was out of time, and Steve would have used my power next. He was going to figure the transformation out, but your mom sacrificed herself to be sure Steve wouldn't need to hurt me too.
Wow, I understand. She was always looking out for others.
She also told me that she believed in you, and she knew even if Steve was able to harness dragon powers, you would be able to defeat him. She told me to give this to you when you arrived.
Sivith tossed something out on the ground. Warden's heart. This was a gift to my mom from my dad. I had always heard that there was a special power inside of it that combined the power of the dragon and the warden. But before I could investigate any further, I heard a noise from Alex's horn. Steve must be here. Come on, Sivith, let's get out of here. On day 99, Sivith and I arrived back outside of the base. Alex was waiting, and we hurried over to her.
Watch out! Steve is...
Just then, Steve came smashing down into the courtyard in his dragon form.
Sorry to break up the party, but you three have been getting on my nerves.
It's over, Steve. You might look like a dragon, but you will never truly be one. It's time for you to pay for your crimes.
Is that so? Well, come and get me, Warden.
Warden? Zozo, use the Warden's heart.
I quickly grabbed the Warden's heart and activated it. I felt an amazing amount of energy flow through me, and I leveled up into my strongest, most powerful form. I can feel the full power of the Ender Dragon and the Warden within me. You're going down, Steve. Steve let out a growl as we started to fight. We flew around, launching our dragon's breath at each other. The sound of our battle could be heard for miles. Give it up, Steve. I have the power of the two most powerful beings in the land. You can't hope to defeat me.
You're just a freaky mix of two creatures.
Hey man, look who's talking. I finally landed a powerful blow, which brought Steve down to his final heart. I soared high and dive-bombed him, delivering the final blow.
Oh, no!
Steve started to explode as his head spun violently. His entire being was glitching out of existence. And stay out of our land! On day 100, Sivith, Alex, and I all made it back to our base. We had lost our families and close friends, but together we would be our own new family. And if anyone else was in trouble, we'd be here to help them out. On day 101, I was on top of the world, flying around the Alps as a fully grown Warden dragon, one of the strongest creatures in the overworld. I've got all my special abilities and 100 hearts. It doesn't get much better than this. But while I was busy flying and celebrating, I didn't even notice that someone was standing on the Alps. It was a scary-looking robot, and he was staring right at me with his big red eyes. I wonder who that is.
Dragon detected. Deploy attack 6. Depowering energy blast.
Before I could even react, the robot shot me with an energy blast, and something terrible happened. I fell down to the ground, feeling myself getting smaller and weaker. My 100 hearts went back down to a measly 10, and almost all of my powers disappeared. And not just that, all of my equipment disappeared too. What? This is impossible! The robot came running over to me. Who are you? Why are you doing this?
I am Dragon Slayer 3000. My primary directive is to destroy all dragons. Initiate Dragon Killer Blade.
He pulled out a scary-looking sword and charged towards me. Lucky for me, I at least had one power left, flight. I flew off as quickly as I could, leaving Dragon Slayer 3000 in the dust. I landed on the ground nearby and was immediately attacked by a saber-toothed pig. I was so weak now, I couldn't even fight back, so I just flew away as fast as I could until I got somewhere safe. I was on top of the world, and now I'm on the bottom. How could this happen? I took a second to breathe and rest. I needed a way to get my powers back and defeat Dragon Slayer 3000! On day 102, I traveled out of the cold, unforgiving world of the Alps and made my way into the nearby cherry blossom forest. Yeah, this is more like it. I just went through a traumatic event. I need somewhere nice and calm to stay. But before I could make myself a new base to stay, I needed to make myself a whole new set of tools. I busted down a tree and made myself a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. That's a good start. Now let's go for stone. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe and started collecting stone until I had enough to create a stone pickaxe, axe, and stone sword. It's building time! I started cutting down some of the cherry blossom trees until I'd collected enough materials to start constructing my base. I started small at first, seeing as I was small now too, building a room for myself to sleep in. But I didn't have enough material to finish the roof, so I went into the woods to collect more materials. That's when I ran into an angry zombie spoiner. Oh no, this day is bad enough already. I don't want to deal with any zombies today. I pulled out my stone sword and fought him off. Lucky for me, I still wasn't too weak to take down a zombie spoiner. Phew, now back to base building. I collected the materials I needed, then went back to my base to finish off the roof. It was a small base, but it was a good start, and I knew I could build myself back up from here. On day 103, I decided to travel around, hoping to collect some more wood for constructing my base and find out more about the crazy robot that had attacked me back in the Alps. That's why I went to the coniferous forest, but this forest wasn't quite as welcoming as the cherry blossom forest. My big clue was a huge vile ogre who showed up and tried to shake me down for some emeralds.
You have to pay the troll toll if you want to pass through this forest, puny dragon.
But you're not even a troll, you're an ogre. They're not the same thing.
Ugh, what a silly technicality. I'm gonna pound you for that, kid.
He gave me a powerful whack after that, taking off a few of my hearts. Remembering the powerful dragon I once was, I pulled out my stone sword and fought back until the vile ogre was defeated. Darn, I'm still injured though. This is the worst. But in my moment of need, a mysterious spirit appeared, the guardian of the forest.
Hello, little dragon. You're certainly a rare one.
I wasn't always little. Wait, what do you mean I'm a rare one?
That terrible machine has been destroying dragons in droves. You're the only one I've seen in ages.
Terrible machine? You mean the Dragon Slayer 3000?
The very same. You look injured. Here, take these healing potions.
I took the potions, and it immediately helped me reclaim all of my hearts. Thank you, Forest Guardian. Want to come back to my base with me? We can work towards destroying that machine for good.
I like the sound of that. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 104 to day 105, the Guardian of the Forest and I went back to my base. It was still pretty tiny, and there was no room for the Guardian to fit in as is. No worries, Guardian, I'll build you a new room where you can stay. I mined some extra wood and stone from around the cherry blossom forest and used it to add a nice new house onto the base. A house that would be perfect for a forest guardian, complete with some plants and a window to let in the sun. He seemed impressed.
This is perfect, Zozo. I think I'll enjoy my time here with you.
But he was wrong. Not everything was perfect, because a gang of skeletons had heard all my construction work and were making their way towards the base. Oh no, I better take them out before they can ruin anything. I pulled out my stone sword and charged in. Skeletons were no match for even a small dragon, so it didn't take me long to defeat them all. And when they were gone, I noticed that they dropped some potions of regeneration. I added them all to my inventory. It's always good to have some of these on hand for emergencies. From day 106 to day 108, I got a crazy craving for fried eggs, but I couldn't just go to the store to get them. I needed to do it the old-fashioned way. I built a chicken coop and a fenced-off area on my base, perfect for a little free-range chicken farm. Then I started collecting chickens and herding them back to my base. I'll have a steady supply of delicious eggs in no time. I can hardly wait. Still feeling hungry in the short term, I decided to go wandering through the cherry blossom forest again, hoping I'd find something cool to eat. Instead, I found something very different. It was the Dragon Slayer 3000, and his big red eye was fixed on me.
Dragon detected.
Can't we just talk this out?
Initiation Destruction Protocol D4. Dragon Slaying Cyber Battle Axe.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 pulled a huge battle axe, seemingly out of thin air, and he charged for me, swinging the axe again and again, only barely missing me each time.
Resistance is futile. All dragons will be annihilated.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 had really earned its name. I needed to get out of there before it could slay me. I took off and flew away, trying to get as far away from that robotic monster as possible. But back on the ground, the Dragon Slayer 3000 was unfazed.
Tracking flight pattern. Processing estimated arrival location. This dragon will not escape.
From day 109 to day 110, I returned back to my base, still feeling terrified after my close encounter with Dragon Slayer 3000. He'd taken my powers, he'd taken my size and my progress, and he'd almost taken my life. I'm so scared that the next time I run into that evil robot, he'll destroy me for good. Just as I was slipping into anxiety and panic, the Guardian of the Forest came into my room with some encouraging words.
Zozo, I sense you've been feeling down. I understand. The odds are against you, and you've lost a great deal. You may think you're weak, but strength is not about how hard you can strike. It's about how hard you can be struck and keep on fighting. Go outside, and you'll see a statue I've been working on just for you.
That's so kind, Forest Guardian. I'll head out there and take a look now. So I did. I went outside and saw the statue that the Forest Guardian had been working on, and it looked amazing. This is so cool. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done. What do you think it'll be when it's done? Just as I was admiring his hard work on the statue, the Forest Guardian came over with some more good news.
That ain't the only thing I've made for you. Go back to the base and you'll see another upgrade I've been working on. I think it'll come in handy with keeping an eye out for that terrible machine.
I went back to the base and saw that the Forest Guardian had transformed one of the cherry blossom trees into an awesome watchtower. It would be a perfect way to keep an eye on the forest around us and know if the Dragon Slayer 3000 was on his way. I'm starting to feel more powerful again already. I can do this thing. From day 111 to day 112, feeling more confident than before, I went back out into the cherry blossom forest to understand my surroundings better. This time, if I ran into the robot, I wouldn't run away like a scared little coward. I'd stand up for myself and fight like a real dragon. But lucky for me, I didn't run into the Dragon Slayer 3000 at all. Instead, I found my way to a cozy little cabin where a friendly old witch was waiting.
Hello there, dearie. You look a little tired from all your wandering. How about you rest here and talk with me for a little bit?
I'd love that, thank you. I'm Zozo.
So what are you doing out here, sweetheart? You are walking with a real sense of purpose.
As a matter of fact, I do have a purpose. I'm trying to get my dragon strength back so I can defeat the Dragon Slayer 3000.
Oh, Oh dear.
What's wrong?
It's just that if you're planning on going up against that metal monstrosity, I recommend you be extremely careful. You have no idea the terrible things it's capable of. There used to be many dragons around here, and not just little baby ones like you. Adult dragons at their full power. And within 100 days, the Dragon Slayer 3000 wiped them all out, one by one. You'll need to be exceptionally powerful if you want to defeat it.
Well, that sure fills me with confidence. From day 113 to day 115, I returned to the coniferous forest, wondering if there was anything valuable I'd missed during my first trip there. You can only imagine my surprise when another big, mean Vile Ogre jumped out of the woods, right in front of me. Wait, how can you be here? Didn't I defeat you before?
Oh, that was my brother. He was out here, minding his own business, and you started to fight with him.
He was literally trying to shake me down for money in a forest he didn't own. He even hit me first.
That doesn't sound like him at all. For defaming my brother's memory, you're going down, you teeny tiny little dragon.
The Vile Ogre attacked me! He fought just like his brother, but this time I was prepared. Before he could take too much health from me, I defeated him with my stone sword and leveled up. I got bigger, and my total hearts rose up to 20, and I gained back one of my most important abilities, fire breathing. I'm getting my dragon mojo back, baby. From day 116 to day 119, seeing as I'd upgraded my size and strength, I figured it was time to level up my weapons and equipment too. That's why I found my way to an underground cavern that was perfect for mining myself some extra materials, specifically some iron ore. Once I'd gathered up enough, I started building an underground furnace so I could smelt the ore into ingots and start creating all my new gear. But I was interrupted by another nasty creature living in the underground cavern, a deadly giant cave spider, and he thought I looked like a delicious dragon snack. Well, I hope you like your meals extra spicy, cave spider. I huffed, and I puffed, and I breathed a jet of flame right at the cave spider, scaring it back into the darkness. It definitely wouldn't bother me after that. Then, I used all that iron I collected to make myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I was officially stronger than ever before. And one day, I'm gonna use this sword to destroy the robot that ruined my life. From day 120 to day 122, I spent one day just resting at the base, having no idea that the day after would bring me my toughest battle yet. That day started with the Guardian of the Forest waking me up in a blind panic and telling me the last thing I wanted to hear at that moment.
Zozo, Dragon Slayer 3000, he's here. He's practically outside the gates. We need to stop him before it's too late.
Oh no! I ran as quickly as I could. I hoped that I'd been dreaming for a while until I saw that the Forest Guardian was absolutely right. Dragon Slayer 3000 was standing right next to the base, carrying his battle axe.
Dragon detected. Initiate destruction methods.
Wait, why do you want to destroy us dragons so badly? Is it something we did to you?
What you do to me is irrelevant. My programming dictates that I must destroy all dragons I detect at all costs.
Who programmed you like that anyway?
You do not need to know. Battle axe attack initiated.
Talking time was over. Dragon Slayer 3000 ran at me with his battle axe again, getting 2 strikes in before I was able to hit him back with my sword. And when I did, it didn't seem to cause much damage. I decided with the threat of getting slain right here in front of me, it was time to unleash my latest dragon power, Fire Breath. I breathed my fire at Dragon Slayer 3000, and it almost seemed to short-circuit him for a moment. He backed away, looking confused.
Dragon has access to fire abilities. Activate contingency plan G6. Retreat mode initiated.
And with that, the Dragon Slayer 3000 fled back into the forest and out of sight. I hadn't defeated him fully this time, but somehow, after this fight, I finally understood that this monster wasn't invincible. If I kept getting stronger, I could defeat him once and for all. From day 123 to day 126, I was working on creating a weapon upgrade for my iron sword. After seeing how Dragon Slayer 3000 reacted to me using my fire breathing on him, I thought he might have some kind of weakness to fire. That's why I applied the Fire Aspect enchantment, which would lend extra fire damage to every single swing of my sword. This is really gonna help me out on my quest. And if you'd also like to help me out on my quest, search ZOZO in the search bar to find and watch more adventures with me, Zozo. We're gonna have an awesome time! From day 127 to day 131, the Guardian of the Forest came over to share some less stressful news with me than the last time.
Zozo, I've done more work on the statue. Come check it out.
Of course, I'll be right over. I met with the Guardian outside and saw all of the amazing work he'd been doing on the statue. It looked so cool. The Guardian certainly had a real talent for building statues.
But for this next part, I need your help, Zozo. The statue is coming along nicely, but I need some ebony logs to really take it to the next level. Would you be able to journey out to the ebony forest and get me some?
I'll be there and back before you know it. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but I did travel out to the ebony forest as quickly as I could gather up the material I needed for the Forest Guardian statue. On the way there, I ran into an Enderman who really didn't like intruders entering his forest, even if they were just dropping in to grab some equipment. You better not tell me I need to pay the Enderman toll. Thankfully, some fire breath was enough to scare the Enderman away. And I was able to gather up plenty of the material the Guardian of the Forest needed to keep building and improving the statue. From day 132 to day 135, I started making my way back to the ebony forest, eager to give all the materials I'd gathered over to the Forest Guardian. On the way there, though, things started to get strange. I spotted a flying ghast, which is normally only seen in the Nether. What are you doing out here? The ghast obviously didn't reply. They attacked me with their ranged attack, and I replied in kind and flew up towards it and hit it with my fire breath, knocking the ghast out of the sky. It feels so good to be a dragon. As I continued my journey back towards my base, I ran into a worried-looking piglin. I stopped to see if he needed any help. Hey, little piglin, don't be afraid. You look like you need a hand. Anything I can help with?
Oh yes, thank goodness. You've really saved my bacon here. My piglin friend was kidnapped by an evoker, and his zombie minions and dragged out to the Mojave Desert. I'd go on my own, but I worry I'm not strong enough. And then we'd both be captured.
Don't worry, piglin. I'll get right on it. And with my new quest, I set off. From day 136 to day 139, I traveled until I reached the Mojave Desert. It was exhaustingly hot and dry out there, but it didn't take me long to discover a mini-base set up deep in the scorching heat of the Mojave. It was a fenced-off area surrounded by patrolling hordes of zombies. Inside the camp, a piglin was locked in a cage, and the evoker stood there, talking to him.
We'll see how much your friend cares about you, little piglin. Maybe if he comes and gives me the money we agreed to, I'll let you both go. Or maybe I'll just kidnap you both.
Please, you can't do that.
You're in my clutches, piglin. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. I'm holding all the cards here.
Watching this happen, I knew I needed to get in there and stop this. I'd free the piglin and defeat that evil evoker, and my dragon powers would help me do it. From day 140 to day 143, I launched my plan to defeat the evoker and save the piglin. Rather than fighting all the zombies gathered outside, I flew and lowered myself down into the camp from above. The evoker didn't seem happy about that.
How dare you invade my camp, you lousy dragon! Zombies, eat them alive!
Zombies inside the camp rushed towards me. I pulled out my iron sword to fight them off, but there seemed to be no end to the zombie horde. This sword isn't powerful enough to take them all, even with the fire aspect. But in the nick of time, I got lucky. I saw a Kyther lying on the ground, exactly what I needed. Don't mind if I do. I grabbed the Kyther, going crazy and taking out every zombie I could. Soon enough, there were no zombies left. It was just me, the evoker, and the trapped piglin. The evoker backed away, feeling a little nervous.
No hard feelings about me telling the zombies to eat you alive, right? That was just a prank, bro.
Instead of answering his question, I blasted him with a jet of flame. After that, I freed the piglin.
Thank you so much, kind stranger. How can I ever repay you?
Go back to your friend in the ebony forest. He's been worried about you. That's the only repayment I need. From day 144 to day 149, I returned back to my base and gave the Guardian of the Forest all the materials I'd collected for him in the ebony forest.
Thank you for these, Zozo. It took you a while to get them. Was everything okay?
Oh yeah, it was fine. Just got a little sidetracked. I'm gonna get working on some base improvements while you work on the statue.
Sounds good to me, Zozo.
I decided to work on a security perimeter wall around the base while the Guardian of the Forest was statue building. I built the wall nice and tall just to make sure it kept out potential invaders. Once I finished the construction and stood back to take in the side of my big, powerful wall, the Guardian of the Forest approached me again with the good news.
Come take a look at the statue, Zozo. It's almost done.
So I did exactly what he said. I went to take a look at the statue and was amazed at what I saw. The Forest Guardian was clearly a statue building whiz. Can you tell what it is yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 150 to day 153, I woke up to some more bad news. The Dragon Slayer 3000 was once again waiting right outside my base, and the Guardian of the Forest was following along. Oh no, he's kidnapped my friend! But I couldn't just chase after them, because at the exact same time, a group of husks that the evil machine must have led here were attacking my base. My anger at that monstrous robot kidnapping my friend let me fight even harder. And during my battle with the gang of husks, I got enough XP to level up and become even stronger. I got bigger. My total hearts increased up to 50. I used my newfound strength to take out the last of the husks. My base was safe, but the Guardian of the Forest was still gone, and I needed to save him. From day 154 to day 157, I checked around my base to make sure there weren't any holes in the walls besides the entryways. You have to keep a keen eye to make sure your walls are as sturdy as they can be. After my base was secured, I went to go meet my other ally in the Cherry Blossom Forest, the witch in her cozy cabin, to get her advice on what to do next. I sat across from her and told her about the situation.
Since you first came to me, Zozo, I've been doing some research, and I think I might have information that could help you. A few hundred years ago, there were some extremely dangerous dragons on the prowl. Some scientist working in the lush tundra created robots like the Dragon Slayer 3000. But even once those few dangerous dragons were destroyed, the machines endured. I've just never seen one this advanced before. Still, if you want to save the Guardian of the Forest, checking the lush tundra may be your best option. Just be careful out there.
From day 158 to day 162, knowing that my best friend was trapped in the territory of my most dangerous enemy, I needed to get better weaponry. That's why I once again returned to the underground cavern where I did my previous mining. And as usual, I had another guest while I was down there. What I wasn't expecting was for that guest to be a creeper. I panicked as it skittered towards me, ready to explode. It was terrifying, but I managed to get away just in time. Boom! The creeper exploded. If the Dragon Slayer 3000 doesn't get me, the stress of these 100 days is gonna be what finishes me off. At first, I thought this was just another one of my many near-death experiences, but these lemons came with a free side of lemonade. In the crater left by the creeper exploding, there were a bunch of diamonds. It looks like my luck is finally turning around today. I gathered up all the diamonds and forged them into a powerful diamond sword, a perfect weapon for taking on that diabolical droid. Now all I needed was the courage to actually go and do it, knowing how scary and dangerous the Dragon Slayer 3000 truly was. From day 163 to day 166, I returned back to my base with my new diamond sword, feeling frightened and worried about what I needed to do, even though my friend's life was at stake. To make myself feel a little better, I gave my diamond sword the fire aspect enchantment, just like with my old iron sword. That would make it a more effective weapon against Dragon Slayer 3000, but I was still afraid. I stood and looked at the statue that the Guardian of the Forest had created for me. It wasn't done yet, and if I didn't save the Forest Guardian, it would never be finished. It would be an eternal reminder that I'd let my friend down. I won't let you down, Forest Guardian. I'm gonna come and save you from that evil machine, no matter the risk. I'm going to the lush tundra, and I'm gonna help you. And if you want to help me, you can subscribe to Zozo and turn on notifications so you never miss another one of my exciting Minecraft adventures. From day 167 to day 170, I put my money where my mouth was and traveled all the way to the lush tundra. I searched around until I discovered what looked like an abandoned factory. This must be where Dragon Slayer 3000 was created. He probably turned it into his base when all the scientists left. If the Forest Guardian is gonna be anywhere, it's here. I ran into the building and immediately found that more hordes of husks had made their home here, just like the ones that he'd led to attack my base. I must have been getting closer. Come at me, husks. You don't stand a chance. The husks did come at me in whole swarms. With my diamond sword, I was able to cut down a lot of them, and I defeated even more with my fiery breath. There was no way I was letting any of those low-level mobs stop me from saving my friend. It wasn't long before I was standing in an empty room, having defeated all of the husks. I kept searching the building, trying to find where they might be keeping my friend. Forest Guardian, it's me, Zozo. I've come here to help you. That's when I heard a voice at the other end of a deep, dark hallway that went into the ground.
Zozo! Oh, thank goodness! I'm down here! Please, come save me!
I ran down the long hall and saw the room where the Guardian of the Forest was trapped. I didn't waste any time and busted down the bars that were holding him. I'm so glad you're safe, Forest Guardian. I don't even know why he kidnapped you. You're not even a dragon.
He's an incredibly intelligent machine, Zozo. I think he kidnapped me just because he knew that you'd come and save me. Let's go back to the base before he realizes you're in here.
No, Forest Guardian, I'm sorry. I want you to go back to the base, but I'm through with running. Keep the base safe for me. I'll come back once I've defeated this robot, once and for all.
Just be careful, Zozo. I have a feeling he's got at least one more trick up his silver sleeve.
With that, the Guardian of the Forest turned and left, and I started going deeper into the Dragon Slayer's base. From day 171 to day 174, I went deeper into the abandoned factory. While in there, I found a dusty old chest locked away in a corner. It contained two things. One was a potion of strength, and the other was a book marked Scientist Notes. I looked through the book, and it contained the following. We witnessed an extraordinary event in the factory today. Our Dragon Slayer 2000 models seem to have gained true intelligence. In fact, they used this intelligence to construct an entirely new machine, the Dragon Slayer 3000. It's the first machine to be planned and built entirely by other machines. Whoa, that explains why this thing is so cold and cruel. The sooner I can put this rogue robot down, the better. From day 175 to day 178, now knowing of his true origin, I went far enough into the factory to discover Dragon Slayer 3000 waiting for me.
Dragon detected. Prepare for your immediate annihilation.
Funny, I was about to say the exact same thing to you. I didn't want to waste any more time talking to this evil machine. Instead, I ran in and pulled out my diamond sword. I hit the robot again and again and again, not even giving him a chance to fight back. I wanted to end it there and then. But before I could deliver the final blow, Dragon Slayer 3000 stepped away and ran into a nearby room. I went running after him as fast as I could. I'm not gonna let you get away with this anymore, Dragon Slayer. Your days of hunting us dragons are over. From day 179 to day 184, I entered the main chamber of the factory. It was large and completely abandoned, but I still saw the glowing red eye of the Dragon Slayer 3000 staring at me. But this time, I wasn't going to let him go. I defeated him and sent him running before. Now it was time to finish him off. Time for the Dragon Slayer 3000 to get slayed by a dragon. I've gotta say, Dragon Slayer, I enjoy the irony.
I wasn't programmed to have any sense of irony. It is of no use to me.
The point is, I'm going to destroy you for everything you've done to me and dragons like me. There's no place in the world for a machine like you.
Then I will have to upgrade. Activate Contingency Plan Z13, Metamorphosis Protocol.
What? Dragon Slayer 3000 began to transform, getting bigger, scarier, and way more advanced. I'd never seen anything like it. All my confidence in the fight completely drained away in that moment.
Upgrade complete. I am now Dragon Slayer 4000, the ultimate stage of my technological evolution. My capabilities have increased, and I can now destroy even the strongest dragons. You cannot harm me, Zozo.
Oh no, I think I may have overestimated my ability here.
Destruction Blast.
The new Dragon Slayer 4000 blasted an even more powerful energy weapon. I was able to dodge it in the nick of time and ran out of there as fast as I could. I need to figure something out fast or I'm doomed. From day 185 to day 189, I returned to my base in a blind panic. I immediately went up to the Guardian of the Forest.
Hello again, Zozo. Thank you again for saving me. Ready to celebrate finally defeating Dragon Slayer 3000?
Not quite. Kind of the opposite, actually. Dragon Slayer 3000 got even more powerful. He upgraded into Dragon Slayer 4000. and I don't know how I'm gonna defeat him like that.
Oh no, that's the last thing we wanted to happen. Here, take this knockback enchantment. It'll make your attacks a little more effective. I believe someone is here to see you. In the meantime, I'm gonna go finish up the statue.
Who's come to visit me? It turned out that it was none other than the witch, coming straight to my base to deliver some valuable news.
Zozo, I have something that I think you'll want to hear.
Please tell me it's good news.
Oh yes, very good news. I've tracked down something that can fast-track your leveling up. A special potion known as Dragon Serum. It will help you grow into a full-sized dragon with all the relevant special abilities. They say it ran out years ago, but I've tracked down one more bottle of it in a single chest.
That's amazing! Do you know where I can find this chest?
It's in a place you may find familiar, the Mojave Desert.
That's perfect! I'll set off right away. Stay at my base in the meantime, Miss Witch, just to be safe. But before I could leave, I heard the Guardian of the Forest calling out for me.
Before you go, Zozo, I have something to show you. The statue is finally finished.
Excited to see what the Guardian of the Forest had created, I flew up high towards the mountains next to my base to get a better view. It was amazing! A beautiful statue of a powerful adult Warden dragon. It looked exactly like I did before the Dragon Slayer stole all of my power. Thank you, Forest Guardian. This is truly awesome. And when I get my hands on that Dragon Serum, that's gonna be me again. On day 190 to day 194, I returned once again to the Mojave Desert, where I'd defeated the Evoker and his minions and saved the piglin. If only last time I'd been looking for that chest, this whole thing might have been over a lot sooner. I searched all across the desert, feeling the intense heat on my dragon scales. Whoever had hidden that serum up here must have really wanted to keep it hidden. Eventually, I found a small chest hidden amongst a bunch of sand blocks. I opened up the chest, and inside was one item, a potion labeled Dragon Serum. Yes, I found it! I finally found it! I can become a full-size dragon, access my complete powers, and use them to even the score against Dragon Slayer 4000! With the Dragon Serum saved in my inventory, I turned and made my way back to my base. From day 195 to day 197, I worked on my final few upgrades, knowing that the battle that would decide the fate of all the dragons in the overworld would soon come to pass. And if I didn't win, Dragon Slayer 4000 might not just wipe out me, he might have wiped out my entire species. I better go in strong then. I gave my sword the Sweeping Edge enchantment to increase its power, and also crafted a full set of iron armor. This would give me a better chance in the final fight. But what if the Dragon Slayer 4000 defeats me, then immediately comes back here to attack my friends? I can't let that happen, or at the very least, I can't make it easy for him. I decided that I wasn't going to, so I built the wall around my base thicker, knowing that I'd buy the Guardian of the Forest and the Witch some time to escape if that evil robot did come looking for them. It's all or nothing now! On day 198, I prepared to leave my base and go to the lush tundra so I could take on and decommission this rogue robot once and for all. But what do you want to see next from Zozo? Search ZOZO on the search bar and leave a comment on one of our videos telling us what you'd like to see next. I always love reading through them. Oh, and wish me luck on my battle with Dragon Slayer 4000. I'm gonna need it. Time to settle that age-old debate of robot versus dragon. On day 199, I returned to the abandoned factory in the lush tundra. When I entered the main chamber of the building yet again, the Dragon Slayer 4000 was waiting for me.
Dragon detected.
Yeah, you detected me. Well done. I'm about to get a whole lot easier to detect in a second.
Attempts to intimidate me are futile, Zozo. I will be the agent of your destruction. Activate Battle Axe. Turn shields to 100%. Prepare to be destroyed.
Time for you to take your own advice, you evil bucket of bolts! Before Dragon Slayer 4000 even had a chance to attack me, I drank the Dragon Serum. In an instant, everything changed. I became a huge, powerful Warden Dragon adult, with the 100 hearts I had 100 days ago. But that wasn't all. I had a new power now, the Fireball attack.
Dragon detected, this does not compute.
Compute this! Summoning up every last ounce of my strength, I fired a fire blast directly at the Dragon Slayer 4000!
No!
The blast was so powerful, he was destroyed instantly! I'd reclaimed my former glory, and the dragon-hating machine was finally gone for good! On day 200, with the evil of the Dragon Slayer 4000 finally defeated, and all my fallen dragon friends avenged, I returned back to my base. There, the guardian of the forest and the witch were already waiting to congratulate me. For the first time in over 100 days, I felt like my old dragon self again, and I could finally relax. Don't you just love a happy ending? On day 1, I spawned in as a noob dragon, with a gang of angry villagers surrounding me.
Hey look, another dragon! We better get that nasty beast before it gets us!
What? Mister, I just got here. I don't want to get anyone.
More draconic lies! You're not gonna pull one over on us! Let's get him, boys!
The gang of villagers all started to chase me across the valley. I didn't understand why they were so angry at me. I was just a baby noob dragon. I only had 5 hearts. Luckily, I was still pretty fast for being a scaly noob, and I managed to outrun them, reaching the aspen forest and leaving all those villagers to eat my dust. With them gone, for now at least, I took a moment to rest amongst the trees and catch my breath. Boy, these guys sure know how to roll out the welcome wagon. I have no idea why dragons have such a terrible reputation around here. And I didn't get much pondering time. Before I could pick myself back up and run off, I was surrounded by those same villagers again. They caught up with me and emerged from between the trees, completely surrounding me.
Tag him and bag him, boys. One less dragon out here makes our villages just that little bit safer.
On day 2, after the villagers captured me, they took me straight to dragon jail and threw me into my cell. They didn't even take time to hear me out. What about due process? Don't I have a right to a trial?
Those are human rights, noob dragon, and you're not human.
Darn it! At least I wasn't alone in my cell. There was also a bored-looking Komodo dragon lounging around. I was happy to have someone in the same boat that I could talk to. Hey, I'm Zozo. All those villagers captured me pretty much as soon as I arrived, just because I'm a dragon. I don't understand.
Nice to meet you, Zozo. I'm Carl, Komodo Carl. I've given up on trying to understand why the humans do what they do. I'm not even a real dragon. I'm just a Komodo dragon. I can't even breathe fire.
Breathe fire? Wait, Carl, you're a genius!
I am? Thank you. I'm happy to finally have my genius recognized.
I turned to the door of my cell, summoned up all of my might, and blasted a fireball at the door. It wasn't all that powerful, but it was powerful enough to at least set us free. Let's go, Carl, before the villagers realize we're gone.
You don't have to tell me twice, buddy.
Carl and I ran out of there, going our separate ways. Now we both at least had a fighting chance out here. On day 3, after escaping from the dragon jail, I fled to somewhere that the villagers would have a lot harder time finding me, the Black Forest. By the time I'd gone deep enough into the forest to feel safe from the villagers, I was so hungry I could barely stand it. I guess using my fireball power and then making a daring escape really works up an appetite. There wasn't a huge amount of food around, but I at least gathered up as many sweet berries as I could, eating some and storing the rest away for safekeeping. Suddenly, a huge shadow passed over. I looked up and saw something amazing. It was a huge, fully grown ender dragon soaring right above me. When she spotted me, she turned herself towards me. I looked so tiny compared to her.
Hello, little one. I didn't expect to see another dragon down here, even a teeny tiny noob dragon such as yourself.
Hi, Miss Ender Dragon. My name's Zozo, and I'm pretty surprised to see you too. People aren't very kind to us dragons around here.
Ah, so you've encountered all the cruel, small-minded humans who are out here threatening to ruin our way of life. You're lucky you escaped with your life.
Wait, you know about all of that? Please tell me more. I'd love to understand everything that's going on here.
You'll understand it all in due time. Fly with me, little one, and I'll take you back to my lair.
So me and the Ender Dragon used our dragon wings to take off into the sky. At least it'd be a lot harder for humans to get us up there. From day 4 to day 5, I flew with the Ender Dragon all the way back to her draconic lair in the wooded Red Rock Mountains. As we flew over, I noticed that there was an unusual number of Endermen wandering around the mountain. I figured they must have been there with the Ender Dragon. We touched down near the top of the mountain, and that's when the Ender Dragon started telling me her story.
You see, Zozo, we dragons once ruled this whole world. The natural home of all dragons is the end, but the end isn't a very vibrant place. Instead, we dragons came here and helped lift up this world to greatness. But some creatures, especially the humans, were ungrateful for everything we did for them. They decided instead to hate us and hunt us to near extinction just because we're the rightful rulers of this world.
That sounds horrible! What can I do to make it all right again, Miss Ender Dragon?
We must reclaim our territory, piece by piece, Zozo. You can start by finding a good place to build a base. Here, take these tools.
The Ender Dragon gave me a set of stone tools, and I flew off again. I searched from the skies until I came across a Guiana shield biome. This seems like a good place to hang my hat. I flew down and started using my stone axe to clear trees and make space for my base. This also gave me enough wood to make a decent start on actually building it too. I took a break from my building to appreciate the scenery when I saw a gang of villagers wandering through the forest, searching for me.
I swear I saw a dragon fly through the sky around here. We need to find it before it does any damage.
But this time, I wasn't going to settle for being captured. I blew another fireball and it exploded right next to them. They scattered immediately after that. Then, I leveled up thanks to me using my dragon skills. I had 10 hearts now and I'd gotten bigger. Not as much of a noob now, am I? From day 6 to day 8, I was exploring more of the Guiana shield when I happened upon a sad-looking raccoon wandering through. Hey raccoon, is everything okay? You look a little glum.
Of course I look glum. My home just burnt down. I'm the only one who got out.
Oh no, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. What happened? Was someone being careless with matches?
No, someone else did it, or something. And I know I'm not the only one. There are a lot of incidents like this. Some places getting burned. Some folks are getting poisoned. You better be careful out there.
And with that, the raccoon wandered off. I knew even more now that something horrible was going on out here. But was it something I could fix in less than 100 days? The day after, the Ender Dragon returned, floating in the sky. She had some things to say to me.
Zozo, I'm afraid I have grave news. The humans are working together with some of the other creatures to wipe us dragons out completely. We need to find and crush their resistance movement completely.
But where would we start, Ender Dragon?
I need information first and foremost. Make your way to the Jacaranda forest. I believe there may be some people of interest there. Find out all that you can. And while you're there, if you can find an old chest of mine, I left an echolocator inside. It'll help you find caves.
Without any delay, I set off to the Jacaranda forest. From day 9 to day 10, I flew away from my base and made my way towards the Jacaranda forest, hoping to find some information and, if I was lucky, the Ender Dragon's old chest. I landed in the forest and started searching. Thankfully, it didn't actually take me long to find the chest that the Ender Dragon told me about. Plus, thankfully, there was an angry Crimson Phantom guarding it. The owner of this chest told me I could have what was inside it, sir.
Oh yeah? Well, I don't care. It's my chest now, and if you want it back, you're gonna have to fight me for it.
The fight began, and because I was still technically a real noob dragon, the Crimson Phantom was stronger than me. His attacks were powerful, and he seemed to be good at tanking mine. I pulled out of the fight and tried to collect myself. I was worried the Crimson Phantom was going to attack me until a Phantom Fox ran in and distracted him for me.
Hey Crimson, don't you know why you shouldn't fight with dragons? You'll get burned.
This was just the distraction I needed to fire a fireball at the Crimson Phantom, destroying him for good. Thanks for the assist, Phantom Fox.
No problem, Noob Dragon.
With the Crimson Phantom gone, I easily searched the chest and grabbed the echolocator. The Phantom Fox was still there, waiting for me.
Say, want to come visit my friend, the Elder Guardian? I think he'd like you.
Sure, he might be able to help me with some information I need. We traveled deeper into the forest until we came upon the Elder Guardian. All three of us sat down to chat, and I asked the Elder Guardian if he knew anything about the human resistance groups.
Resistance groups? Where have you heard of such a thing? I don't know of any resistance groups, just people trying to do their best to survive hard times.
Interesting. I'll report back with that. From day 11 to day 12, I flew from the Jacaranda forest back to the wooded Red Rock Mountains, where the Ender Dragon was waiting for me.
Well, do you have anything to tell me about the resistance groups? Our continued survival depends on it, Zozo.
I spoke to some people, and the funny thing is, nobody seems to know about any resistance groups, just people trying to survive.
Fools! All of them fools! Do I have to do everything myself?
gather up some iron from a cave to create some iron armor, then find a remote village to the south of here. You'll see evidence of the human resistance with your own eyes, since you seem to have so little trust in me.
I had no idea why the Ender Dragon seemed so mean and angry with me all of a sudden, but I figured I still better do what she said. I flew down from the mountain and used the echolocator to find the nearest cave. I headed inside and started mining until I found some iron ore. This would be perfect for armor and tools. But when I left the cave, some angry dread thralls were waiting for me. Can't you guys give me a break? I've been having kind of a rough week. They didn't listen. Instead, they attacked. Luckily for me, it was easy to make short work of them with my fire breath attack. Now I need to go find that remote village. From day 13 to day 15, after searching for a couple of days, I found the remote village that the Ender Dragon told me about. But it seemed so peaceful. It was a small, isolated community guarded by a single iron golem. They didn't even seem bothered by me being there, like the villagers that had first imprisoned me. A lot of what the Ender Dragon told me doesn't seem to add up. Something's wrong. I need to get out of here and find out the truth. From day 16 to day 19, I flew back to the wooded Red Rock Mountains to get some straight answers out of the Ender Dragon, only to find that she wasn't there. This whole situation just keeps getting weirder and weirder. I'm starting to get a little worried, honestly. I flew back to my base, turning this whole thing over in my mind, when I noticed someone was already at my base, waiting for me. It was one of the villagers from that little remote village that the Ender Dragon made me stake out.
Oh gosh, I hope you're a nice dragon, because that evil Ender Dragon is attacking my village, and I need some help.
Wait, the Ender Dragon? Oh no, don't worry, I'll go over there right away. I flew back to the remote village and saw, to my horror, that the villager was right. The Ender Dragon was flying above, destroying everything. I flew in and tried to reason with her. Ender Dragon, why are you doing this? These people aren't part of the resistance.
You gullible fool! You barely deserve to call yourself a dragon. There is no resistance. There are only we dragons and all inferior species. You can either be with me or against me.
I'm not going to let you hurt innocent people, Ender Dragon.
Then you're against me.
The Ender Dragon blew one of her poisonous purple fireballs at me, and everything went black. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up from being knocked out and found that the Ender Dragon was gone. But she'd also destroyed the entire village and left no survivors. Except for one iron golem, who was left without anything to defend.
I feel terrible. It was my duty to defend them, and now they're all gone because of me.
It isn't your fault, Iron Golem. It was the Ender Dragon's fault. Come back to my base with me. We'll work together to defeat the Ender Dragon and avenge everyone she hurt.
Yes, that sounds like the only way that I can bring my heart some peace.
The Iron Golem and I went back to my base. I let him stay in my house and made sure he was happy here.
Thank you, Zozo. This looks like a wonderful place to stay.
And while I was there, I built a smelting furnace where I turned my iron ore into iron ingots, built a few new pieces of armor, and an iron pickaxe. I'm going to use all my might to become an experienced dragon and take down the Ender Dragon for all she's done. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to take my new iron gear out for a spin. If I was going to become a mighty enough dragon to defeat the Ender Dragon, I needed to get to work and explore some new areas. I ventured out to the desert and started looking around. Then I spotted a Vex Piglin attacking a Komodo dragon. Wait a second, I know that Komodo dragon. Komodo Carl, I'll save you.
Zozo, thank goodness. I thought I was a goner.
I rushed over and started attacking the Vex Piglin, but it was really strong. Yikes, this is gonna be a harder fight than I thought. The Vex Piglin knocked me down.
Oh no, Zozo, look out!
Carl, I can't defeat this guy by myself. I need you to help me.
How can I help? I'm just a Komodo dragon. You're the real deal. I couldn't even free myself without your help.
Just trust me. If we work together, we'll be much stronger than we are by ourselves.
I'll give it my best shot.
Komodo Carl jumped in and attacked the Vex Piglin while I was down, attacking him and saving my life. Thanks for your help. See, I knew you were stronger than you thought you were.
Thank you for showing me that and helping me save myself. Hey, let me give you something to say thanks.
He gave me a Komodo dragon spit bottle. Oh, thanks, I guess.
I know it seems gross, but you can use this to make a potion resistance potion. It should help protect you.
Oh, cool! Thanks! From day 27 to day 31, I took a stroll through the beautiful rose fields to catch my breath after that fight with the Vex Piglin. Seeing all those flowers definitely put me in a good mood. While I was stopping to smell the roses, I saw a herd of sheep. They were wandering around and looked pretty lost, so I told them to follow me back to my base. Once we got there, I built a pen for the sheep to live in. Here you go. You guys can stay here as long as you like.
Oh, Zozo, you're back! I'm so glad. I wanted to show you what I did while you were gone.
The Iron Golem showed me some bookshelves he added to the base. Awesome, thanks! Meanwhile, in the wooded Red Rock Mountains, the Ender Dragon was up to no good, with a frightening Ender Blaze standing by her side.
I'm so glad you see things my way, Ender Blaze. With your help, no one will dare oppose me ever again!
My pleasure. We Ender beings should be in charge of everything, and if you're the one who's gonna make that happen, I'll do anything I can to help.
From day 32 to day 35, I left my base to go explore the Enchanted Forest. I was just taking a casual stroll and looking around when suddenly a group of warped Moscos spotted me.
Oh no, a dragon! Quick, let's get him before he burns down our forest!
They rushed toward me and started attacking me. Hey, wait! I'm not here to burn anything down. I live in this forest too.
That's what the dragon in our last forest said, but he was a liar! I bet you are too!
Wait a second, the Ender Dragon, she lied to me too! It's my mission to defeat her so she can't hurt anyone else.
Really? You promise?
I promise. My name is Zozo, and I'm a nice dragon.
If that's really true, then you should come with us!
I followed them to a warped toad who was sitting under a tree.
Well, I certainly didn't expect you boys to bring me a dragon.
I'm here to help, I swear. My name is Zozo. I don't like the Ender Dragon any more than you do.
Well, as the old saying goes, fight fire with fire. Having a dragon on our side might be the advantage we need to end the Ender Dragon's reign of terror. The Ender Dragon isn't used to battling his own kind, you see. She's tricked most of them into working with her. I'll tell you anything else that I learn and help you however I can, Zozo.
From day 36 to day 39, I decided to work on upgrading my armor. I went down into the mine and started digging for iron. I found enough to craft the rest of the armor I needed, and I even found a couple of diamonds too. I gathered everything and took it back to my base. I used the iron I mined to complete the rest of my set, and when I was finished, I saw a raccoon at the entrance to the base.
Hey, are you Zozo?
That's me.
Oh, good. I heard you're trying to learn more about being a dragon, so you can get strong enough to stop the Ender Dragon, right?
I am. Are you here to give me dragon lessons or something?
Nah, I'm just a raccoon. I could teach you how to find food in the trash, but I think you'd rather talk to my friend. She's a lightning dragon, and she's not too fond of the Ender Dragon either. If you're not busy, you can come with me to meet her.
I'm never too busy to learn. Let's go. From day 40 to day 43, I followed the raccoon to the Araucaria Savannah.
She's really excited to meet you.
Oh geez, but I'm just a noob dragon. I'm still learning.
Yeah, but you were brave enough to stand up to the Ender Dragon. That's a big deal. Here she is.
I saw a huge, tough lightning dragon sunning herself in the middle of the savannah. It sure was a sight to see.
You must be Zozo. I'm so happy to meet you. I know you're looking to get stronger and learn more about being a dragon. I've been a dragon for a pretty long time, so I hope I can help.
That would be awesome! Can you help me get better at breathing fire? Before she could answer, an ender blaze jumped out from behind a tree and landed right in front of us.
Well, look what I found. A couple of traitors working together.
Who the heck are you?
I'm the guy that's gonna teach you a lesson about opposing the Ender Dragon.
The Ender Blaze fired a missile at me, and I just barely managed to dodge it. Help! The Lightning Dragon gave me some of her power to fight the Ender Blaze. I felt myself get bigger and stronger too, but just when we thought we defeated him, he kept attacking.
You've done a great job here today, Zozo, but you need to get out of here. I'll keep this guy busy. Go!
From day 44 to day 49, I flew back to my base. I hope the Lightning Dragon is okay. I didn't have too much time to think about it though, because the warped toad came to see me.
Zozo, I have some news. My research has pointed me to a weapon that I believe will help you defeat the Ender Dragon. It is a netherite axe, a powerful axe made by combining a diamond axe with netherite ingots.
Oh, I have some diamonds already.
Excellent. And you have the amount of diamonds required to craft a diamond axe?
Well, no, I need to go get more diamonds.
Then hop to it, young dragon. Time is of the essence.
I get it. Hop, like a toad. Very funny.
This is no laughing matter, Zozo. Much is at stake. Good luck.
On the encouragement of the warped toad, I headed down into the mine and started digging for diamonds. Phew, all this mining is hard work, but it'll be worth it when I finally defeat the Ender Dragon. It took a while, but I found some diamonds, enough to make a diamond axe. Now I just need to figure out where I can find a netherite ingot. From day 50 to day 53, I started my quest to find some netherite ingots and build the netherite axe. I ventured out to the crag gardens to see what I could learn. When I got there, a cleric came up to me.
Greetings, little dragon. Are you a friend of the warped toad?
I am. What can you tell me about a netherite axe?
Well, the Ender Dragon is vulnerable to netherite weapons, according to stories I have heard. She isn't able to melt them with her fiery breath the way she would ordinary metal weapons. The combination of diamond and netherite makes it indestructible to her.
That's great news! Do you know where I can find some netherite?
Now that I'm afraid I don't know. I wish you luck though.
Okay, well thanks for the info. I started to head back to my base. As I was walking, a fireball hit the ground just a few feet away from me. Hey, what gives? I could see a fire dragon just up ahead.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't aiming for ya. I was aiming for those zombies.
Sure enough, he was fighting a horde of zombies. Want some help with that?
Yeah, I'll go to this.
He shot another fireball out of his mouth and blew up the rest of the zombies without any trouble at all. Whoa, that was awesome! Say, do you want to team up with me and help me fight the Ender Dragon?
No thanks, I'm good. Sorry kid, but I fly solo. Good luck with whatever you're doing though. Sounds like you're gonna need it.
From day 54 to day 57, I explored the crag garden some more. If I were some netherite, where would I be? Just as I was searching, the Ender Blaze popped up behind me again.
I don't know about netherite, but it looks like there's plenty of loserite here. Because you're a loser, you tiny noob dragon.
Ah, the Ender Blaze is back! I drew my weapon and got ready for a fight, but he was still way bigger and stronger than me. Oh no, I can't beat him yet.
And you never will. All hail the Ender Dragon. May her fire cleanse the land of all weakness.
I didn't have any choice but to run away as fast as I could. Next time I see that guy, I'll be ready. Meanwhile, back in the wooded Red Rock Mountains, the Ender Dragon was floating back and forth.
It's all coming together marvelously. Soon there will be only dragons and those who serve us. Any of my kind that refuse to join me will be dealt with swiftly. All else will be burned to ash or reduced to nothing but dust.
From day 58 to day 62, I went back to my base to check things out and figure out my next step. When I got there, I noticed something was different. There were walls. Wow, this looks great. The iron golem stepped forward.
Glad you think so. My mother always taught me that a good house guest helps out however they can. And I had some spare time, so I built some bigger walls.
Thank you. I still think the base needs something else though.
Maybe something decorative?
Yeah, like a statue. I know. I'll build a statue of an adult dragon to remind myself what I'm working toward. When I look like the statue, I'll know I'm done growing up. I gathered some materials and started constructing my adult dragon statue. Then I added some banners to the base to spruce up the place even more. Next, I used my diamonds to craft myself a diamond axe. What a great day! I'm one step closer to having what I need to defeat the Ender Dragon. I just have to stay brave and keep going. From day 63 to day 66, the cleric came to visit me at my base.
Zozo, the time has come for you to gather the remaining materials for the netherite axe. In order to find netherite, you must enter the nether.
Okay, how do I do that?
Through a portal, dear dragon. There is one I can lead you to, and once it is operational, you will be able to travel through it to the nether.
Oh, okay, neat.
Follow me, Zozo.
I followed the cleric out to the snowy blue taiga.
This is where the portal is. Unfortunately, it appears to be broken. You will not be able to pass through it until it has been repaired.
Oh, bummer. How do we fix it?
That I cannot tell you. I will return to my research and see what I can learn. In the meantime, explore this area and see if you can unlock the secrets of the portal for yourself.
I never could have dreamed becoming an adult dragon would be so much work, but I was ready for the challenge. If I needed a working portal to help me complete my quest, I would find a way to make it work. From day 67 to day 70, I wandered around the snowy blue taiga, looking for clues that might help me fix the broken portal.
Zozo, is that you, buddy?
Oh hey, Komodo Carl! What brings you all the way out here?
I came out here to visit some friends, but I ran into an ice dragon causing all kinds of trouble, freezing my vacation house.
Oh no, let's go see if we can stop it. I followed Komodo Carl to his vacation home, and sure enough, there was a great big ice dragon stomping all over the place. Hey, what are you doing? Cut that out!
You work for that infernal ender dragon. You can't tell me what to do.
I don't work for her anymore.
A likely story. Nice to meet you, little dragon. Prepare to be frozen in your tracks.
Then the ice dragon rushed at me and attacked. I had gotten a lot stronger and better at fighting though, and I was able to defeat him and knock him down. Please, listen to me. I don't work for the Ender Dragon anymore. In fact, I'm trying to stop her, but I need help to do it. If you join me, maybe we can stop her once and for all.
That would be more productive than taking out my rage on this random vacation home. You know what? I will join you.
From day 71 to day 74, I returned to my base and found the Ender Blaze had beaten me to it. He was launching fireballs at everything in sight and had already knocked down one of the walls completely. No, stop that!
If you want me to stop so badly, you'll have to fight me.
What if I'm not strong enough? I guess I'll have to try anyway. I attacked the Ender Blaze, but he knocked me down. He's still too strong. What do I do?
Perish.
He attacked me, but I dodged it.
Get away from our base, you fiend!
The Iron Golem attacked the Ender Blaze, but the Ender Blaze grabbed him.
I'll take this. Smell you later, foolish baby dragon.
The two of them teleported away in the blink of an eye. He'd kidnapped my friend. No! That was too far. I needed to get strong enough to beat the Ender Blaze so I could save the Iron Golem who had helped me so much. I won't let you down, Iron Golem, no matter what. I can promise you that much. First, I had to repair the damage to my base. I rebuilt the busted wall and added a guard tower and a fence for extra protection in case Ender Dragon sent any more minions to attack me. Looking at my hard work, I couldn't help but feel regret for not putting in all these security features earlier. Meanwhile, back in the Red Rock Mountains.
Excellent work, Ender Blaze. Without his little friend to help him, Zozo stands no chance. Not that he had one to begin with. There is none mightier than the Ender Dragon in all the land. And soon, everyone will bow down to me.
From day 75 to day 78, the Warped Toad came to see me at my base.
Zozo, I heard about what happened. I'm so sorry, little one. But all hope is not lost.
I know, I just have to work harder.
And you just need the right equipment. I'm sure you know by now that diamond weapons are more effective against the Ender Dragon, but they're also most effective against his Ender Blaze as well. I brought you this, and it should help you in your quest.
He handed me a diamond sword. Thank you. Do you know where the Ender Blaze might have taken my friend?
Yes, that was my second gift. You didn't give me a chance to show you. Anyway, here it is. Take this map, and it will lead you there. You've come a long way already, Zozo. I know you can do it.
Thank you. Armed with the map and my new diamond sword, I headed off to confront the Ender Blaze for what I hoped would be the last time. From day 79 to day 84, I followed the map to the Ender Blaze's base. Give me back my friend, you monster! He came out of the base to face me. I could see the Iron Golem trapped behind him.
Oh, I'm a monster, am I? And you aren't? For betraying the Ender Dragon, who took you under her wing and taught you what it means to be a dragon?
Being a dragon isn't about hurting innocent people and being a bully. She's a liar.
And you're a loser. Please, feel free to fight me again if you're so eager to taste defeat once more.
I drew my sword and attacked as fast as I could. He blocked my attack with ease, and I started to get worried. Oh no, is this new sword enough to defeat him?
Of course it's not.
He hit me hard, knocking me down. It was looking like things might be over for me, when suddenly, the Ice Dragon slammed into the Ender Blaze.
Not so fast! I thought you only worked alone. I usually do, but I'm not gonna let the Ender Dragon ruin everything for our kind. Let's teach this guy a lesson. Here, take this. He tossed me a dragon enhancement potion, which I drank quickly. Ugh, tastes gross. Even though it didn't taste good, the potion made me transform into a full-grown adult dragon. And I gained hearts. Not such a little dragon anymore. Now, let's handle this Ender Blaze. With the Ice Dragon's help and my brand new strength and size, we were finally able to defeat him and free the Iron Golem. From day 85 to day 89, I headed out to the Badlands to collect some terracotta I could use to finish off my statue. It was perfect timing, finishing the statue of an adult dragon when I was finally one myself. I returned to my base and put the finishing touches on the statue. That looks great! Then the cleric came back to see me.
Zozo, I have great news! I know how you can fix the nether portal. Take these obsidian blocks and use them to repair it. Then you can go through and collect the netherite you require.
Awesome! Thank you so much! I took the obsidian blocks and ventured back out to the snowy blue taiga where the broken portal was waiting for me. I used the blocks to fix the portal, and then I was ready to enter the nether. Wow, this place is kind of spooky. I looked around for a while, and I saw some ancient debris. Oh, that's it! If I get that ancient debris, I can get some netherite! But as I ran toward the ancient debris, an enderghast jumped out and attacked me! I don't have time for this! Get out of my way! With my new strength and size, it was easy to blow that enderghast away! Then I grabbed the ancient debris and headed back through the portal. Now I have everything I need! From day 90 to day 94, I emerged from the portal and was back in the snowy blue taiga. But my good mood didn't last long because the Ender Dragon was waiting for me.
Hello again, Zozo. You've grown, I see. Not a noob dragon any longer. You're a mighty beast now. Join me, come and work for me again. And together, we will conquer this puny land.
No, I'll never join you. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well, you're just mean.
If that is your choice, then so be it. Hey, what's that behind you?
When I turned to look, she snatched the ancient debris out of my hands. Hey, give that back!
No, I don't think I will. I'll give you something to keep you busy, though.
As she got ready to fly away, she dropped a cage on me. I was trapped. From day 95 to day 97, I used my fiery breath to destroy the cage so I could escape. Yay, I'm out! But now what should I do? I know, I'll go see the warped toad and ask him what to do. I traveled to the enchanted forest and tracked down the warped toad. When I arrived, he was lying on the ground, dying. Who did this to you?
The Ender Dragon. She attacked me. I don't have much time. Listen to me. She's taken what she stole from you back to her base. You'll have to go there and retrieve it. Thank you for your heroism, Zozo. Goodbye.
No! I'll make her pay for this, I swear! On day 98, I returned to my base and was greeted by a horrible sight. My base was completely destroyed while I was gone. She must have come here too. Curse her! This is terrible! I looked around for my friends that were living there, but they were gone. Oh no, what do I do? My base, my leader, my friends, she took everything from me. Not everything. I turned around and the Ice Dragon was there.
I'm sorry you're sad, Zozo, but I can help. If the two of us team up, I think we can take down the Ender Dragon together.
What should we do?
We'll gather up our weapons and supplies, and we'll head to a base together. Then, we'll fight as hard as we can.
Okay, let's do it. On day 99, the Ice Dragon and I journeyed into the wooded Red Rock Mountains where the Ender Dragon's base was.
Ready?
Not really, but I don't have much of a choice. Let's give it our best shot.
Hello, traitors. Come to grovel at my claws?
The Ender Dragon rushed us both. No, we're here to take you down.
Ha, funny joke, but I'm finished laughing. Time to taste defeat.
Time for you to freeze. The Ice Dragon attacked the Ender Dragon, but she dodged the attack and came back with an even harder hit. She knocked the Ice Dragon down, and he didn't get back up. No! I attacked next, but the Ender Dragon was still way too strong. I did get one good hit in though, and she dropped the ancient debris. With no other choice, I grabbed it and ran all the way back to my base. There, I was finally able to craft the netherite axe. When I did, I felt the strength coursing through my body, and when I looked up, The Ice Dragon and Lightning Dragon were back! You're alive! Sure am, and I'm ready for round 2. On day 100, the dragons and I returned to the Ender Dragon's base. We can't let this lady keep giving dragons a bad name. Let's show her what it really means to be a dragon. All together, we attacked the base. The Lightning Dragon and the Ice Dragon worked together to fight off her minions, while I went inside to find the Ender Dragon. Your days of stepping on the little guy are done.
Ready to lose again so soon? If you're so eager, then let's fight.
Well, I've got this now. I pulled out the netherite axe, and she actually looked a little bit scared.
How did you get that?
With a lot of help, because unlike you, I believe in kindness and friendship and kicking your butt. I ran at her with the axe and started fighting. This time, I knew I was strong enough. Before long, I delivered the final blow, and the Ender Dragon fell to the ground. Finally, there can be peace between dragons and the rest of the world. On day 1, I spawned in and ate my way out of a giant pumpkin as a fat dragon with 10 hearts. It looks like I'm way chunkier than the average dragon. It's okay though, because it's what's on the inside that counts. But my thoughts were interrupted by a huge fireball hitting the ground next to me. I managed to dodge it just in time and looked up to see a huge fire dragon floating in the sky above me.
Sup, Tubby? What are you doing on my turf? You know this is Chad's place. Who? Chad's the best.
Hey, don't call me mean names. And who's this Chad guy?
I'm Chad, and I rule. And when I'm flying around here, taking selfies for my red-hot fire dragon Insta, I don't want your goofy butt sitting in my background, killing my vibe.
But, you can't just call me names and kick me out.
Yeah I can. I'm Chad the fire dragon. I'm number 1. You aren't the first loser I've chased out of here, and you won't be the last, baby. It's fire time!
Chad the fire dragon blasted another fireball at me. I dodged again in the nick of time and flapped my wings, flying off into the air and escaping Chad's fire.
Yeah, that's right. You better run. Nobody messes with Chad. Ugh.
When I'd escaped Chad, I landed for a bit to breathe and calm myself down. That guy was a major jerk. Why would you be mean to someone just because of what they look like? He must be evil. My thoughts were interrupted by a big angry dread beast who thought I looked like a filling snack. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. All I could do was fly off before the dread beast pounced at me. This world doesn't seem too kind. I need to make things better around here before everyone hates on each other. On day 2, I landed somewhere that looked a little safer. At least here, nobody would start attacking me for no reason. I need a roof over my head before I can do anything else. Maybe it's time to build myself a fat dragon base. I used some of my natural dragon strength to break down a few trees. It wasn't long before I had enough wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and a crafting table. Then I used my wooden pickaxe to dig up some stone and create a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. This is exactly what I need to build a base. But first, I need to get myself a sweet treat. I've had a hard couple of days. I've earned it. I flew off to a nearby area and found a delicious looking cake just laying around. The perfect treat. But then, a dread ghoul jumped out of the shadows and started laughing.
My fiendish plan worked. I knew that a cake would attract a perfect fat little victim, and I was right.
Oh, come on! Why is everyone here so judgmental?
It's the way of the world, fat dragon. And now you've fallen for my trap. You're all mine.
But before the dread ghoul could pounce, I flew away again, all the way back to my base to enjoy my cake. Wait, I got so distracted by the cake that I didn't even start my base. When I landed, I used my stone pickaxe and collected more resources and started building myself a basic base. At least it would give me somewhere to stay at the end of the day. I should work on a kitchen next. On day 3, I decided that I needed to make my base a little bigger. I wasn't the tiniest dragon out there after all, and I needed the base to be roomy to be comfortable in it. So I flew off to a new location to collect more resources. Of course, it wasn't going to be as easy as I'd hoped, because nothing seems to be easy around here. The second I landed, there was an angry-looking dread knight waiting for me.
Avest! Thou art a hefty dragon forsooth! Alack, 'tis a battle! A battle, good sir.
I literally don't understand anything you're saying, but I still feel like you're being mean to me.
Thou art correct. battle me, knave?
I was really upset about being called mean names again, probably. So this time, I was ready to engage in battle. I attacked him with my stone sword until the Dread Knight gave up and moved away.
Thou doth won this time, dragon, but next time I will have my revenge, forsooth.
Stop saying forsooth. It doesn't make you sound cool or smart. It's just weird. With that, the Dread Knight ran away. Moments later, a different figure emerged, a big black hippogriff. Oh no, are you gonna say mean things about my weight too?
What? Heavens no! I'd never dream of judging someone based on their appearance. That's a total Chad the Dragon move. I'm Buck the Hippogriff.
Wait, Chad the Dragon? You know that guy?
Huh, I wish I didn't. He's so conceited. If he was made of cake, he'd probably eat himself. Talk about a selfish meanie.
Oh, speaking of cake, I have some back at my base. Come join me, we can share it together. I'm Zozo, by the way.
Finally, someone kind around here. You seem hungry already. I'll let you have some of my fish. And let's go, Zozo.
I'd made my first friend, and we started back to my base. Things were finally looking up for me. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with Buck the Hippogriff. It felt nice to have someone who was so kind in a world that had been so mean to me. Let's build you a room, Buck. Something that really suits your awesome personality.
You're too kind, Zozo.
You were kind to me first. This is just me getting even. I started expanding my base, creating a nice new room for Buck to stay in. I even made it with an open roof so he could fly out and explore anytime he wanted.
This is an awesome room, Zozo. I'm so happy that I met you. You're the coolest fat dragon I've ever seen.
You're doing a lot to help boost my confidence, Buck. I love it. But our wholesome friendship moment was interrupted by a bunch of death worms slithering out of the ground towards me. Oh no, I need to do something about this before it ruins my whole base. I ran in and started battling the death worms. Lucky for me, in the battle of worms versus dragons, dragons normally win, and this was no exception. And once the worms were defeated, they dropped some delicious apples onto the ground. Huh, apples in worms. It doesn't normally go that way around. I stashed the apples into my inventory and went back to my base, where Buck the Hippogriff and I could hang out. With the death worms taken care of, I could work on expanding and improving my base. Yes. First, I need to make sure I have a fixed source of food, breakfast especially. I'd love some eggs. That's why I built a coop and some fences, then collected a few chickens and let them live inside. Free range, of course, because that's the kindest way to do it. It'll make the eggs taste better too. But while I was out searching for more chickens to add to my teeny tiny chicken farm, I saw the last thing I ever wanted to see, Chad the Fire Dragon. He was flying right above me, looking just as mean and arrogant as ever.
Ugh, what are you doing here, Chubby? Didn't the Chadmeister tell you that you need to get off the overworld? Maybe go to the Nether. That's where all the other weird, ugly beasts hang out. Nice one, Chad.
You can't nice one your own joke, Chad. It doesn't work like that.
Chad can do anything that Chad likes. He's the best. I mean, I'm the best. Whatever. Look at what I can do.
Suddenly, Chad started growing even bigger and stronger than before. He made even his old self look small. Oh no, you're so huge. How?
I've been getting some extra reps in at the gym. It's making me real swole. You'd know this if you followed my fire Insta. Like I said, instead, you're gonna deal with my fire. Fire!
Chad blasted an even bigger fireball at me. There was no way I could fight him like this. I needed to just get out of here. I flew off as fast as I could, just hoping that Chad wouldn't follow me. Getting rid of him was going to be a lot harder than I thought. From day 9 to day 10, I sat in my room at my base, feeling terrible about all the things Chad said to me and how much stronger he was than me. How can I ever expect to stop him from being so horrible to everyone if I can't even stop him from being horrible to me? Buck the Hippogriff seemed to sense that I was upset and came in to comfort me.
Zozo, I'm so sorry about all those terrible things that Chad said to you. For what it's worth, he's only like that because deep down, he's so insecure about himself. He wishes he had the kind of confidence you have.
Those are kind words, Buck, and they do make me feel a little better. I just feel bad that I wasn't able to defeat him.
Maybe what you need is a little inspiration. Go look out into the yard and see a little something I've been working on for you.
I ran outside and saw that Buck had been working on a statue. It looked incredible, but it was early enough that I couldn't quite tell what it was yet. Oh, this is amazing! What do you think it's gonna be when it's done? Let me know down in the comments. Buck came up to me again. Amazing work, Buck! I love the statue. What's it going to be?
I couldn't give that away. And besides, there's something else you should see. I built you a base upgrade.
I looked back in my base and saw that Buck had built me a storage room. The perfect place to store all of our weapons and supplies. Buck, you're the best friend I've ever had. From day 11 to day 12, I decided it was time to rest and recover from the stressful last few days. After all, it's important to take care of yourself and take time off now and then. But while I was sleeping, I started having the strangest dreams. I dreamed of how Chad the Fire Dragon was first created. He crawled out of lava, deep underground, a dragon of pure fire.
Whoa, I'm a dragon of pure fire. This is crazy. I think I'm gonna call myself Chad. Yeah, that feels like a good name for me.
But everyone was afraid of Chad because he was so big and so dangerous because of his fire powers. Chad felt bad about everyone being afraid of him, so to cover up how bad he felt, he decided to pretend he was confident in a completely over-the-top way.
The Chadster's #1! Huh.
But because Chad's confidence wasn't real, he could only protect it one way, by being mean to others, putting them down to make himself feel better.
Everyone is dumb and ugly except me. Oh yeah, Chad is awesome, and I'm Chad, baby.
Chad developed such a reputation for being rude and mean, nobody would tell him to stop. And as the years went on, he only got more powerful. Needless to say, it was a really weird dream, but I definitely felt like I knew more about Chad afterwards. I just wish I knew how I could use it against him. From day 13 to day 15, I decided I needed to settle a few old scores to improve my confidence. This fat dragon was through with running away. That's why I flew back to where it all started, to face the dread beast that thought I was an easy snack. Now I was going to show him that fighting me was going to be anything but easy. I landed right next to the dread beast, ready to battle, with the stone sword at the ready. Let's go, dread beast. We'll see who's really feeling the dread when I'm done. The dread beast ran at me, but I didn't budge. I fought back. And this time, I won! And with the XP I got from winning, I leveled up into a bigger, tougher, fatter dragon! Chad is gonna think twice about messing with me now. I've got an entire 30 hearts and a brand new weapon, Dragon Claws. I took to the skies, happier than I'd felt in a long time. From day 16 to day 19, feeling encouraged by all my progress lately, I decided it was time to treat myself to a gear upgrade. I found a nearby mine and went underground, digging until I found some iron ore. Perfect! This is exactly what I needed! But I wasn't alone in the mine, because the perfect opposite of a fat dragon was down there waiting for me. A bunch of human skeletons! At least they don't have enough tongue to make any mean jokes about me. I defeated the skeletons, then used my iron ore to smelt and craft an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Looks like my fighting and mining skills have just leveled up. Chad is gonna feel so jealous about this when he finds out. With all my new gear, I went back to my base, feeling better than ever. From day 20 to day 22, I was rudely awakened by Buck storming into the room.
Zozo! Zozo! You need to wake up right now! Something terrible is happening!
Terrible? Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Quite the opposite, actually. It's terrible! Chad the Fire Dragon is waiting for you outside. I think he wants to fight.
I got up and ran outside as quickly as I could. And just like Buck had told me, Chad the Fire Dragon was waiting.
Hey, jabroni, it's the Chadmeister, Chadageddon, the Central African nation of Chad. And as usual, I'm happy to hand you a big steaming plate of humiliation, baby.
You may be a fire dragon, Chad, but I think you're just full of hot air. Are you really saying all this stuff about yourself because you believe it, or because you want to believe it?
Ooh, look at you, Mr. Big Tubby Head Shrinker. You think you understand the Chadster's brain? The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. You could never even hope to understand what I'm about, and I'm actually super duper confident. You're just way too much of a loser to get that.
Sounds like you're not that sure of yourself.
I so am! Let's fight, doofus!
We charged at each other and began battling. He blew fire at me, but with my new strength since our last battle, I was able to take the heat. That's when I showed him my new claws, swiping at him again and again. He seemed so shocked that I was really fighting back that he broke away from the fight and started to fly off.
I didn't really want to fight you that time anyway. Smell you later, fat dragon!
It wasn't exactly a true victory, but I'd seen the first crack in Chad's confidence. Maybe I can beat him after all. From day 23 to day 26, I decided that I needed to treat myself to a new enchantment for all my hard work, surviving my first true fight with Chad. Given how much he'd helped me so far, I asked Buck what he thought I should do.
Seeing as you got yourself an iron sword a while back, maybe you should apply the sharpness enchantment. Who knows? It might even make your claws more powerful.
That's a great idea, Buck. You're always looking out for me. On Buck's suggestion, I crafted and applied the sharpness enchantment. All my weapons were a lot more effective after that. From day 27 to day 31, I got more good news from Buck.
Zozo, come take a look. I've been doing some more work on the statue, and I think you're going to love it.
Ah, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see. I ran out and took a look at the statue. It wasn't done yet, but it was coming along so well. Buck really had a gift for making statues. This looks amazing, Buck. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done.
That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about, Zozo. The statue is coming along great, but it needs something else. Think you can go get some for me?
No problem, Buck. I'll set off immediately. Buck told me what he needed and sent me off to the west. I headed out with my iron pickaxe, ready to mine like my life depended on it. It didn't take me long to find the blocks that Buck needed, but there was a wither there waiting for me. Nothing is ever easy around here. I took a few wither skulls, but soon managed to use my claws to turn the tide of the battle. Once the wither was gone, I mined the blocks and went back to my base. Buck was waiting for me. Here, Buck, take these.
Thanks, Zozo. This is exactly what I needed.
From day 32 to day 35, I went out exploring again, wanting to increase my strength and confidence. If there were any quests for me to take, I'd be happy to take them. But my confidence was shaken a little by a huge creeper spider suddenly skittering towards me. This is not how I wanted to spend today. I ran away as the creeper spider exploded, taking out a bunch of blocks beneath it, but thankfully not me. Creepers are one of those problems that take care of themselves. While I was wandering around the explosion-scarred area, I saw another strange creature, a rabbit wolf, hopping around and looking worried. Are you okay, Miss Rabbit Wolf?
The truth is, no! Things are awful right now.
Awful? Oh no! What happened? Is there any way I could help?
My friend, the rabbit, was kidnapped by the Crimson Phantom. He's a local weirdo who thinks he's a supervillain. And if we don't save the rabbit soon, who knows what will happen?
We'll never have to find out. Wait here, I'm gonna go save your rabbit friend. And with that, I flew off, ready to become a hero. From day 36 to day 39, I arrived at the location where the wannabe supervillain, the Crimson Phantom, was holding the rabbit. He was every bit as weird as the wolf rabbit had told me.
It is I, the Crimson Phantom, the Lord of Darkness. I am the most powerful and evil villain in the overworld, and nothing will stop me from taking control. I'm #1.
But isn't Chad the fire dragon #1?
Oh no, Chad, is he here?
No, he's not here. I was just talking figuratively.
Phew, that's a relief. Almost lost my cool there.
Hearing all of that gave me an idea. The Crimson Phantom may not be afraid of me, but he was definitely afraid of our mutual enemy, Chad the fire dragon. Maybe Chad can be useful for once. From day 40 to day 43, I flew out towards the Crimson Phantom and the captured rabbit, trying to look as intimidating as possible. Both of them turned to look at me as I approached.
Begone, fat dragon, for I am the Crimson Phantom, the vilest villain in all of the overworld, and this rabbit belongs to me.
Fool! I work for his Chadness, Chad the Fire Dragon, and he is extremely displeased that you're out here, tarnishing his rad name.
Oh no, please tell his Chadness I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any offense. I'll do whatever he wants, I promise.
You'll give up the rabbit and let her go. His Chadness requests your presence.
Of course, Wait, Fat Dragon? Chad's been making fun of you on his Dragon Insta for weeks now. You're not with him, you're trying to trick me.
You can't blame me for trying. With my plan foiled, I attacked the Crimson Phantom with my powerful claws. Despite all his bragging, he was one of the easiest enemies I'd ever defeated.
You saved me. Thank you so much. I was worried I'd never get away from that awful villain.
Don't thank me, Rabbit. You've got a friend who cares a lot about you. As if on cue, the Rabbit Wolf hopped in.
Thank you for all you've done, Zozo. Here, take this potion of swiftness. It's the least I could do. You're a true hero.
Oh, stop it. You're gonna make me cry. From day 44 to day 49, I gave more materials to Buck the Black Hippogriff so he could continue work on the statue.
Great job, Zozo! You're really pulling your weight with this project.
I'll take that as a compliment, considering how much my weight is.
I mean it, buddy. You're a kind and reliable person. Anyone would be lucky to have you as a friend.
Thanks, Buck. Now I feel like $1,000,000.
There's only one me, Zozo. Just like there's only one you.
That's deep, but you knew what I meant. I let Buck continue working on the statue and realized that I was hungry. After all the quests I'd been doing, I had really worked up an appetite. It was time to add something to the base in order to help out with that. A proper kitchen. I'd craft a couple of cooking surfaces and shelves to store ingredients. That way, I'd be able to make the most nutritious meals when I was in the mood for food. It's like they always say, never trust a skinny cook and always trust a fat dragon cook. Once I had completed the kitchen, I went back to see how Buck was doing on the statue. It was starting to look even more like what it was supposed to be. I couldn't wait to see how it would look when it was done. From day 50 to day 53, I was minding my own business at the base when Chad the fire dragon decided to rear his big, overinflated head.
Oh, hey, Chapster. Still your lame, roly-poly self, I see. Lucky for you, the Chadmeister decided to take some time out of his busy Insta schedule to instigate a little one-on-one conflict.
Leave me alone already, Chad. I'll fight if I have to, but I didn't wake up this morning choosing violence.
Too bad, because Chad the Cool and Rad always chooses to dunk on losers. By the way, when I said one-on-one, I meant one-on-several, because I've brought my fans with me.
It was true. Chad had rolled up with a bunch of fire guardians who listened to everything he said. They must have been followers by nature. How is it fair to outnumber me, Chad? At least fight your own battles if you're gonna be a bully.
Well, sorry. There's so much of you to go around that I thought I should bring more guys. Get up, boys.
Chad's fire guardians tried to gang up on me, but I was a fighter now, so I shredded through them with my claws. I was so focused on the fight that I almost didn't see Chad and the other guardians kidnap Buck from the base.
Zozo, win that fight and come save me. I know you can.
Buck, how low does Chad want to go in order to ruin my life? I took down the rest of the attacking fire guardians like Buck said, and I felt my confidence rising. I grew larger and obtained 60 hearts. I could also breathe out a big blast of fire. Looks like Chad isn't the only one with fire around here. With that, I also set the front yard on fire. From day 54 to day 57, I spent some time putting out the fires left over from the attack on the base. They sure did set a big part of my base on fire, but it didn't bother me that much because I could easily extinguish it. Once I had extinguished the fire, I thought about the one thing I couldn't repair. I need to get Buck back. He always stuck up for me, so I want to do the same for him. I went to the desert to go visit Miss Rabbit Wolf. I knew a thing or two about friendship. And because I helped her rescue her friend not too long ago, she would probably help me rescue mine.
I'm so sorry that Buck got taken away by Chad's henchmen. I know exactly how that feels.
I want to do something about it, but I don't know where to begin.
Why don't you try checking the selfies that Chad posts? There's got to be something in the background that could help you find out where he's taken Buck.
That's a good idea. He posts pictures of where he is all the time. It should be easy to find his evil lair from that.
You can turn his false confidence into a real weakness.
Thanks, Rabbit Wolf. From day 58 to day 62, I went mining for diamonds so I could upgrade my tools. I'm a confident dragon, and I deserve to treat myself to nicer things. Of course, not everyone in the mine agreed with me on that point. There were a bunch of warped phantoms swarming around where I was trying to dig. I could use my fire breath to scatter them, but they'd always come back. This seems like more of a task for my claws. Can't a dragon mine in peace? Once I had cleared out all the warped phantoms, I was able to gather a good amount of diamonds from the cave. I crafted a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe, both of which would come in handy when the time came for me to go rescue Buck from the clutches of Chad. From day 63 to day 66, I was looking at the unfinished statue and feeling sad that Buck couldn't be here. The two of us had been working together on the statue for a long time now, and seeing that it was unfinished was a reminder that without him, I'd never see what the statue could become. I thought about working on it myself, but that wouldn't do any good. Buck is counting on me to rescue him from Chad. I couldn't back down from facing that terrible bully. For now, the statue needs to wait. Hang on, Buck. I'm gonna find you, wherever you are. And if you want to find more of my awesome adventures, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you'll always be able to. From day 67 to day 70, I found a place that looked a lot like where Chad the Fire Dragon took many of his selfies. The Crimson Gardens were definitely red, like one might expect for a fire dragon, and there also seemed to be a huge lair designed to show off. That's gotta be Chad's pad. As I approached, I noticed that there were a bunch of fire guardians hanging around outside. My guess had to be correct, since those mobs would do anything for Chad's attention, including trying to keep me out of Chad's pad. I knew I was looking at a fight if I tried to get past them. Hey, you guys, is my friend inside there? The fire guardian said nothing and charged me all at once. I knew fire breath wouldn't do any good against creatures of pure fire, so I stuck to melee attacks. Thanks to my increased health, even fighting this many fire guardians wasn't much of a problem. It was true that I'd gotten even bigger and stronger since my other fight with Chad's minions. I'm not just fat, I'm large and in charge. I was able to battle my way through the inside of Chad's pad. I just knew my friend was in here somewhere. From day 71 to day 74, I explored Chad's pad and fought off more of the fire guardians as I did. This base is gigantic. Chad must really enjoy having a lot of space that he doesn't need, all to himself. While I was sneaking around, I saw Chad. He must have been finished taking selfies in a nearby room. Oh yeah, Chad rules! The camera loves Chad, and so does everyone else. And Chad! He seemed to be really into his routine at the moment, and it felt awkward to interrupt him. I came here to rescue Buck, not to pick a fight, so I just let him continue bigging himself up. Of course, I couldn't help myself from sneaking some potions of healing from one of his pad's chests. He won't miss it, and besides, he's hurt me enough times that one little potion is the least of what he'd need to do to make up for it. From day 75 to day 78, I managed to find the dungeon where Chad had been keeping Buck. It was time for a good old-fashioned prison break.
Zozo, you made it! I always knew you had it in you, friend.
Thanks, Buck. It was hard making it all the way here without your kind words, but I was still able to do it because I've got confidence in myself now. I used my fire breath to destroy the bars of the prison, setting Buck free.
Nicely done. Now let's get out of here. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Who said you could leave? Chad didn't, and if Chad didn't, it doesn't matter who did. Chad.
Oh no, it was Chad! There was only one thing I could think of to make sure that Buck would be safe from this kidnapping bully jerk. Get out of here, Buck. I'll catch up with you after Chad and I have a talk. With that, Buck ran off, leaving me alone to take on Chad.
Huh, like Chad would talk to you for any reason other than reminding you that you're totally stupid looking.
Actually, I meant talk as in fight. Let's work things out like dragons with our claws and fire breath.
Can't get enough of Chad's fire breath? Okay, you asked for it.
Chad breathed his fire blast at me, but I returned with my own. He was surprised that I could do what he did, but that made sense because he always underestimated me. We started to fight with our claws, and even more than the previous time I was holding my own. I got several good hits in on him before he started to show a little bit of nervousness. What's the matter, Chad? Not able to pretend as well as you normally do?
As if Chad needs to pretend. I'm the real deal, lame-o. Check this out.
From day 79 to day 84, Chad flexed his dragon muscles and totally hulked out into a super beast of a dragon!
Oh yeah, Chad was already the best, but now you can say hello to the even better, super mega ultra deluxe Chadmeister Supreme!
Yikes! I didn't expect he'd have another form!
Chad totally could have beaten you in his regular form. Chad just didn't feel like it.
Right, so he transformed for absolutely no reason at all. I'm really not sure I believe you, but I'm also really afraid of your new form. I ran away as fast as I could. Behind me, I could hear Chad laughing and calling me more mean names. We would see who would be laughing the next time we met, but this time it was definitely Chad who would be laughing. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to base and found that Buck had already made his way back there before me. I was really glad to see him home. The base had not felt the same without him.
Did I miss anything, Zozo? I was gone for a long time at Chad's pad. That fire dragon was so annoying and talking about himself the whole time. I'm really glad to be back.
I'm glad to hear it, Buck. Sorry you had to go through all that.
It wasn't all bad. I did manage to swipe some relaxation supplies from Chad's relaxation room. I bet we could turn these into a room of our own.
That sounds awesome. I love relaxation. I got to work on upgrading the base with a brand new relaxation room, while Buck chose to make up for lost time and work on the base's statue. I made sure to put all the right details into the relaxation room, including lots of couches for Buck and I to lounge around on. I bet both of us will really appreciate the work I've done on this room after Buck is done putting together that statue. When I was done with the relaxation room, I went to see the statue and found that it looked absolutely incredible. It was only a statue of me, but I never looked at myself so proudly before.
Remember how you feel about yourself at this moment, Zozo. That confidence in who you are, recognizing your own best qualities, is the key to defeating Chad.
I did almost have him last time, but he's got this new super duper form now, and I think he's gonna knock me out the next time I see him.
In that case, you just take what you already like about yourself and make it even more powerful. There's a spell you can cast that will bring your inner strength to the surface. Show him who you really are!
From day 90 to day 94, I sought out the Book of Spells, which was said to contain a spell that would bring my inner strength to the surface. It was located inside of a deep cave that was full of wither spiders. There was a time not so long ago that I wouldn't have dared to fight for myself, especially against such powerful mobs. But if what Buck said about this spell was true, then I couldn't wait to get my inner strength on. I'm becoming more like who I want to be every single day, and there's nothing that some bully can say that would make me feel like I'm less than that. The wither spiders had powerful attacks and could shoot deadly wither skulls, but with my chubby body and huge amount of hearts, I could withstand equally huge amounts of damage. Big is beautiful! I burned the spiders away with my fire breath and found my way to the Book of Spells. This must be the right one. I'll read it when I get back home. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at base, preparing for my showdown with Chad. I was determined to use everything that I had in order to win this fight and overcome that bully once and for all. I knew that I'd be having the fight at his place, so instead of doing any sort of upgrades on my base, I focused on what I would need to do to fight at my best. Potions are the way to go. I can drink a lot of those at once to give myself an advantage. First up was a standard potion of strength to increase the damage of my claws attacks. Second, I chose a potion of regeneration so I could get even more use out of my high amount of hearts. And the third potion that I picked was a potion of fire resistance. Chad is always bragging about his fire, but this should take the heat off of me. On day 98, I decided to relax so that I wouldn't stress out too much about the impending fight I was going to have with Chad. I couldn't let him get into my head, so I made sure to fill my brain with fun and positive feelings. And if you want to feel fun and positive too, you should type ZOZO into the search bar so you can find more of my videos. Also, while it's just us relaxing, go ahead and leave a comment about what I should be next. On day 99, it was time to settle my score with Chad once and for all time. I walked through the Crimson Gardens and straight inside Chad's pad. That mean and nasty fire dragon himself was lying in wait, and he was still in his tricked out new form.
Back for more, you little dragon tender? Chad is better than Chad has ever been. This new form is totally awesome, and definitely better than anything you could do.
I now understand why you decided to take that form, Chad.
'Cause I'm a beast like that?
No, it's because you have something to prove. You may have scared everybody else, but I was able to rattle that fake confidence of yours. You're the one who is actually scared, Chad.
What? No, you don't know what you're talking about. Chad is the man, or the dragon man. Actually, I'm just a dragon.
Yes, and I'm just a fat dragon who's got inner strength. I downed my potions and used the Book of Spells to cast a spell of power and unleash my inner strength. My heart rose to 100, and I now had a mighty tail slap attack. Ready to throw down, Chad.
Chad is having second thoughts. I mean, now Chad's the best. Chad will take you out in any form, Tubbo.
The fight began, and I whipped him with my new tail slap. He tried his fire breath, of course, but I was resistance. Your fire can't hurt me anymore, and neither can your words. I gave him serious claw strikes and even more tail slaps. Then I unleashed my own fire breath.
No way. You can't be fire. Chad is fire. Chad is fire as fire.
Not anymore. Then I tail slapped Chad one more time, and he was done bothering me. On day 100, I was once again relaxing at the base with Buck, the Black Hippogriff. Chad won't bother me or anyone again. I really taught him a lesson.
You sure did stand up for yourself, Zozo. And you never let anyone tell you who you should be or how you should look.
You said it, Buck. I'm the best at being me, and that's what counts more than anything else. On day 1, I spawned into the deep dark forest as a skeleton dragon, one of the coolest and spookiest kinds of dragons there is. Well, I guess I'm more of a baby skeleton dragon. I must have just come out of the skeleton altar. That's gotta be why I only have 3 hearts. And what's this in my inventory? A void worm eye? What would I use that for? That's when I saw a skeleton horse riding out of the trees towards me. For some reason, she looked worried.
What are you doing here, baby skeleton dragon?
I just got here. My name's Zozo. What's going on?
It's dangerous to be in this forest at night. We need to get out of here.
Before I could ask any more questions, I saw shadows in the dark between the trees. And suddenly, I felt uneasy.
Zozo, we have to leave. Now! Mr. Dark is here.
Mr. Dark? Who's Mr.? A tall, shadowy figure appeared in the trees behind us. At first, all I could see was his glowing purple eyes.
No need to run away. Why don't you come with me, little ones? I'll take you to Playland. We'll have toys and games and candy. I just know you're going to love it.
I knew in my dragon bones I couldn't trust this man. He creeped me out just standing near him. So me and the skeleton horse ran away as fast as we could.
You can run, little ones, but I'll take you all to Playland soon.
We took refuge in a nearby cave to wait out the rest of the night, worried Mr. Dark might find us at any moment. What's your name, skeleton horse?
Sally. I'm Sally the skeleton horse.
Thanks for the save, Sally. On day 2, Sally the skeleton horse and I emerged from the cave with the sun shining high up above.
We're safer during the daytime. I've only ever seen Mr. Dark under the moonlight.
We decided, with a little less pressure on us, to start exploring the rest of the forest. It definitely wasn't so scary with the sun shining in through the trees. Maybe we should collect some apples.
That's a good idea, Zozo. A skeleton horse is still a horse, and I love apples.
We happily collected apples until a huge shape came lumbering out of the dark. It was a skeleton dragon, a huge adult skeleton dragon with black bones. Oh wow! Hey, Mr. Skeleton Dragon, I'm Zozo, and I'm one of your kind. The adult skeleton dragon seemed relieved to see me.
Oh, thank goodness. I've been looking for you everywhere. I'm in terrible trouble, and I need the help of another skeleton dragon. I just didn't expect you to be so small.
I may be small, but I've got a big heart. How can I help you?
A friend of mine, the blue skeleton dragon, was taken by something. Some tall, shadowy entity, and I need help in getting him back.
That sounds just like Mr. Dark.
He terrorized us too, but don't worry, we'll help you get your friend back from Mr. Dark no matter what.
Thank you, Zozo, and friend. For now, I must go. Stay safe.
The adult skeleton dragon flew away, leaving me and Sally alone. It was time to work on our first base, so we started breaking down trees and collecting sticks and wood. I was able to build a crafting bench and made my first set of wooden tools and weapons. These would be perfect for my first base. We found a clearing in the forest and started building ourselves a humble wooden shack with one bed and a stable outside. But all the while, Sally looked a little concerned. What's wrong, Sally?
That's skeleton dragon's friend. We better work hard at getting him back. Mr. Dark only keeps people at Playland for 100 days. After that, well, you don't want to know.
And she was right. I really didn't. On day 3, I was wandering through the forest looking for apples to eat and more supplies that I could use to upgrade my base. Nothing like fresh air and a walk to make a morning happy and healthy. But during my walk, I saw a hulking figure behind the trees, a mutant skeleton. He looked big and a little scary, so when he turned around and looked at me, I ran for the hills. Not today, mutant skeleton. I returned to my base, where I felt a lot safer and started mining into a nearby hill to gather some stone. Then, I made my first set of stone tools, a stone sword, and even started building a sturdy stone wall around my base. But as I was building my wall, I was suddenly approached by an angry-looking gang of rogue tomatoes. They somehow looked both silly and like they meant business.
Don't you laugh at us, bub, or I'm gonna give you a knuckle sandwich with extra ketchup, you hear?
Those were fighting words, so I decided it was time to give my brand new stone sword some action. If it's a tussle you want, it's a tussle you'll get, tomatoes! I fought them all, making short work of them with my stone sword. And after their defeat, one of them dropped a milk bucket. Guess I'll just keep this, in case it comes in handy. That's when I looked up and noticed it was getting dark. I'd need to finish the wall another day. I definitely didn't want to get stuck outside while Mr. Dark was on the prowl. Instead, I went back to my bedroom and got a good night's sleep. On days 4 and 5, I woke up to the sound of Sally the skeleton horse entering my room. Hey, Sally, what's up?
Zozo, I noticed you brought back a milk bucket last night. You should drink it. Milk contains calcium, and calcium is good for your bones. It's the perfect way for a skeleton dragon to get stronger.
That sounded like a great idea. So I chugged the milk and immediately found myself getting stronger. I grew to a big, tougher form with 6 hearts rather than 3. This is more like it. I'm gonna go take a walk in my new form.
I'll finish up the wall while you're out.
So that's what I did. But this time, I didn't want to just walk through the forest. I went all the way to the desert so I could feel the heat on my bones. Sun and skeletons go together like peanut butter and jelly. I turned and saw a wither skeleton further out into the desert. He seemed to be fishing in a pond. I couldn't believe how many friendly skeletons I was running into these days. I made my way over the small hill to him.
Enjoying the sun, fellow skeleton?
Want to come back to my base and hang out with me and my horse friend, Mr. Wither Skeleton? We're putting together a group to help save an innocent skeleton dragon from an evil man.
Sounds good to me, brother. Let's boogie.
The Wither Skeleton and I traveled back to the base together, and we came back just in time because a big, angry Ravager was trying to break down my defensive wall. Uh-oh. Want to help me run off this nasty customer, Wither Skeleton?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
With the both of us ready to fight, the Ravager was outmanned. We didn't manage to defeat it, but it did run away. By then, it was already almost nightfall. We needed to get some sleep in case Mr. Dark came out looking for us. I installed a second bed in my cabin, as well as some more furniture, and invited the Wither Skeleton to come stay with us.
Sounds good to me, brother. Sleepover time.
On days 6 through 8, me and the Wither Skeleton went out into the forest and collected some more yummy apples. But that wasn't all we were looking for. We found the same cave that Sally and I had hidden in the first night I arrived here. It's mining time. And then I mined all over that cave. It didn't take me long to find enough iron and coal to smell myself some new weapons and tools. Iron weapons, iron tools, I'm really moving up in the world. After leaving the cave with our loot and returning to the forest, we were suddenly ambushed by the same Ravager, looking for revenge. Be ready to fight, Wither Skeleton. This won't be easy.
I was born ready, Zozo.
But sadly, he wasn't actually born ready. That Ravager was way stronger than we thought. We fought the Ravager until it was defeated, but the Wither Skeleton was destroyed in the process. Wither Skeleton, no, I'll never forget you. He dropped his hat, which I decided to take with me. He had also dropped a flint and steel, a useful item for lighting fires. On the way back to my base, I encountered a soul vulture hanging out amongst the trees. Hey, Mr. Soul Vulture, want to come back to my base? I figure us Bone Brothers should stick together.
Is it cozy?
The coziest in all the forest.
Well, I can hardly say no to that, can I?
The Soul Vulture came back to my base with me, where I built him his own room. I also used some of my excess iron to create an iron golem to guard the base. Now I can sleep a little easier. On days 9 to 10, I was woken up in the middle of the night by something scratching my window. I looked up and saw Mr. Dark, his bright purple eyes staring in through my window. He was so creepy, I could barely stand it. Mr. Dark, how did you get past my guard wall and my iron golem? Mr. Dark gave a creepy little giggle.
I can go anywhere I want, at any time I want, Zozo. No walls are too high, no trenches are too deep, and no golem is too strong. If I wanted to, I could open your door and walk into your bedroom right now.
And why don't you?
Because where'd be the fun in that? Silly little dragon boy, you'll choose to come to Playland with me. I just know you will, and you'll have a wonderful time. I'll be keeping my eye on you, Zozo. I'll come back when you least expect it, and then you'll be all mine.
Then he disappeared, and I couldn't get back to sleep for the rest of the night. On days 11 through 12, still feeling shaken up from my encounter with Mr. Dark the night before, I decided to build some base improvements. I made the wall taller and started digging a trench around the outside of the wall, so the only way to get in or out would be the front gate, guarded by my iron golem. This should keep that nasty midnight creep away. After my work was done, Sally the skeleton horse approached me with a suggestion.
Zozo, you should train yourself and get stronger by visiting new biomes. How about a trip to the beach?
Yeah, I could use a trip to the beach after a week like this. I made my way to the beach with Sally for a mixture of relaxation and hardcore strength training. And it didn't take long for us to need it, because a bunch of angry iron chickens started attacking us.
We're the iron chicken muggers, and believe us, we can be pretty foul. So you better hand over all your bucks.
Thankfully, with Sally and I working together, we were able to defeat the Iron Chicken Muggers and keep all of our hard-earned money.
This kind of thing is exactly why I hate chickens.
We kept exploring until we found another skeleton friend, a skeleton deer. So of course, I invited her back to my base.
Gee, thanks. I'd love a new place to stay. I've been getting tired of all this sand.
The skeleton deer followed us back to the base, where I built her a new section of the stable to sleep in.
This is so comfy. Thanks, Zozo.
Don't mention it, skeleton deer.
And by the way, I saw you fighting the iron chickens. You were good, but if you want to get better, I recommend seeking out the necromancer. He can mentor you to greatness.
Necromancer? That sounds like a plan. On days 13 to 15, I left my base and began searching the forest for the necromancer. I'm sick of being afraid and hiding away when the bad guys come. I want to be strong enough to be brave and fight back. But it turned out I was talking to myself a little too loudly because an angry stone monster came running at me through the woods. Uh-oh, sorry about the noise. I'm guessing we can't just talk this out. He did not want to talk it out. Instead, he chased me and I ran as fast as I could on my skeleton dragon legs, but he was faster. Oh no, oh no, 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 no! But just as he was about to catch me, something burst out of the tree line, as quick as a flash. It was the mutant skeleton I'd run away from earlier. He pulled out his bow and easily defeated the stone monster, really saving my bones. Thank you, mutant skeleton. I'm so sorry for running away earlier. I guess I learned a valuable lesson about judging on appearances.
No problem, Zozo. I know I can look a little scary sometimes, but really, I'm out here trying to help.
Wanna come and stay at my base for a while? I'm putting together a team.
I'd love to, but there's too much work to do protecting people out here. Perhaps I'll drop in for a visit sometime, though, eh?
Me and the mutant skeleton went our separate ways, and I continued searching for the fabled necromancer until I saw a gremlin hopping around, looking clearly distressed. What's wrong, little gremlin?
I'm in trouble, man. These, nasty jungle spiders have been chasing me all day, and I'm worried they're gonna get me.
Stand back, little gremlin. This sounds like a job for Zozo. With my trusty sword, I found that nasty swarm of jungle spiders and took them out before returning to the gremlin.
Whoa, Zozo, you're like a real hero. That was awesome.
No problem, little gremlin. Say, you know where I might be able to find a necromancer?
Oh, the necromancer. You'll find him in the west of here. Keep heading in that direction, and you're sure to meet him.
Thank you, Gremlin. That's exactly what I needed to hear. For days 16 to 19, I began my journey west in search of the necromancer, until I heard a terrible crashing noise coming from the distance behind me. It sounded like it was coming from my base. I immediately turned tail and ran all the way back, only to see that my defensive wall had been destroyed, and a dangerous zombie taiga was attacking my base. What are you doing, you meanie?
It's nothing personal, kid. Mr. Dark told me to do this. If I don't hurt you, he'll hurt me. That's just the way it is.
I turned and saw something awful. He'd already destroyed the skeleton deer and the soul vulture. Sally, the skeleton horse, was my only companion left. That's it. You're going down. I pulled out my sword and attacked the zombie taiga, but it seemed like he deflected the hits without any effort. He was almost unstoppable.
That was just embarrassing. If you couldn't defeat me, you'll have no hope against Mr. Dark. I'm out of here.
And with that, the zombie taiga fled, leaving me in the ruins of my base with two of my friends. Gone! I feel useless, like I can't protect anyone. That's when a gang of mossy skeletons turned up. They looked frightened and said they'd heard I'd been offering other skeletons a place to stay. Of course you can stay here, new buddies, but I'm gonna need to make a few renovations first. I built a new barracks on the side of my base for the mossy skeletons to live in. They seemed quite happy with their new place, and I took the time to rebuild some of the defenses that the zombie taiga destroyed. But I can't just defend my base. I need to be able to defend myself too. I mined for more iron and coal until I had everything I needed to smelt myself a new set of iron armor. I may have lost a battle, but I wouldn't lose the war. On days 20 to 22, I left my base to search for some statue building materials. After all, a cool statue is great for inspiring everyone to do their best. But on my way out to mine some stone, I was ambushed by a green troll with an axe to grind. Well, more specifically, he had a giant fist. I've got no interest in defeating any trolls today. With my sword at the ready, we engaged in a tense duel. Thankfully, with my new iron armor, I was able to withstand his attacks and defeat him. Iron and bone beats flesh. Afterwards, I traveled further through the forest until I stumbled upon a desert with the remains of a giant skeleton. Whoa, this is perfect for building a cool statue, and I know exactly what I'll make with them. I started mining the ribs one by one, making sure I didn't fall into the pools of lava. By the end of it, I had all the bone blocks I'd ever need. On the way back, I encountered a herd of wild sheep grazing and decided I'd tame them and lead them back to the base, because you never know when some wool will come in handy. When we reached the base, I made a new, fenced-off section where the sheep could graze and be left to their own devices. And with that out of the way, it was time to start statue building. Laying down the base is one of the most important parts, so the statue doesn't just tumble over. Can you guess what the statue is gonna be yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the forest to search for the necromancer. I needed his teachings to help me get stronger and defeat Mr. Dark. While wandering through the woods, I got attacked by a nasty gang of rotten rats. They tried to bite me and give me some nasty diseases. When it comes to rats versus skeleton dragons, rats don't win. I defeated the last of them with my iron sword and continued searching. On the way, I ran into a wither skeleton jockey riding a spider. He reminded me of the wither skeleton who used to be my friend. Hey, Mr. Wither skeleton jockey, wanna come back and stay at my base?
Nice offer, but no thanks. There are some evil things lurking in these woods, and I've learned not to trust anyone. Maybe some other time.
All right, suit yourself. Stay safe out there. It felt like the day had been a total waste as I journeyed further into the forest. But just as I was ready to give up, I saw the necromancer himself, sitting on a rock and meditating. No way! The necromancer! Is it really you?
Those who seek me will find me, little skeleton dragon. And I assume you've been seeking me.
I have. I want you to mentor me and help me become more powerful.
Well, young dragon, with great power comes great... Well, you have to have a good reason to have great power. So, what is your reason?
I don't need it for myself. I need it to defeat Mr. Dark and save everyone he's captured.
That, little dragon, is a good reason. Your training begins now.
For days 27 to 31, the necromancer gave me my first challenge.
To defeat an entity as evil and spooky as Mr. Dark, you need to learn to conquer your fear. It's okay to be afraid, Zozo, but true courage is knowing that there are some things you must do, even if they make you feel afraid.
What would you have me do, Master Necromancer?
Do you see that nearby cave? It contains a monster. I want you to go in there and defeat it to help gain control of your fear. If you complete this first challenge, I'll give you a reward.
I believe in myself. I can do it.
Good, and you can take this bat to help you. It will freeze your opponents for 3 seconds. May it come in handy.
I took the necromancer's bat and went into the cave. It was dark and scary, and I could feel myself getting nervous, but I took deep breaths and kept going. I needed to strengthen my courage to defeat Mr. Dark. The deeper parts of the cave weren't any better, only some lichen and mushrooms giving off faint light. Suddenly, a scary, growling soul eater leaped out of the darkness toward me, ready to attack. I stayed calm and hit the creature with my bat, studying it. I'd passed the test. Okay, now it's time to get out of here. On days 32 to 35, my new mentor rewarded me for passing the first challenge by giving me a potion of strength. I immediately drank it and felt myself getting bigger and tougher. This training was really paying off. I have to be at least twice the size I once was. This whole thing made me feel so happy, I decided I'd go back to my base and tell the mossy skeletons and Sally the skeleton horse about my victory. And on the way, I encountered the wither skeleton jockey that I'd met a few days before. Hey, Jockey! Have you had any second thoughts about coming to my base?
Well, now that you mention it, I have been getting some eerie vibes lately. Maybe we should stick together after all.
But those eerie vibes didn't come from nothing. Neither of us noticed it, but the day had gotten away from us. The sun was going down, and the night was upon us. That's when Mr. Dark himself came creeping out of the trees.
Ooh, new friends. I'll take you to Playland with me. We'll have so much fun.
He grabbed the Wither Skeleton Jockey with his long, spindly arms.
Zozo, help me. I'm being kidnapped.
But I couldn't help him. Mr. Dark was too fast and too strong, and all I could do was run. My base may have been the only place that was safe at night. On the way back, I encountered an ancient spirit villager who started chasing me, and I was too afraid to even fight him. I just ran away. All that training, useless. I don't know if I'll ever be able to defeat Mr. Dark. On days 36 to 39, I woke up and took the jockey Spider to the stable when I heard noise coming from my front gate. I made my way over to see a familiar face waiting outside of my base. It was the same zombie taiga who attacked my base and destroyed Soul Vulture and Skeleton Deer. This time, he's going down. I ran out, ready to fight. This time, I had full iron armor, so the zombie taiga's attacks weren't nearly as strong.
What sorcery is this? Mr. Dark told me you'd be easy to defeat. This isn't fair!
With the help of my new strength and the bat that the necromancer had given me, I defeated the zombie taiga and avenged my fallen friends! Speaking of friends, Sally the skeleton horse approached me with a wonderful idea.
Zozo, we should make our way to the Stone Shores. I've heard that some of the friendlies over there have created some awesome upgrades.
Oh really? Then there's no time to waste. We hightailed it over to the Stone Shores, where we saw an innocent skeleton being hassled by an ogre. We couldn't let that stand. Get away from that skelly! Sally and I charged in, and that was enough to scare the ogre away. He seemed thankful and gave us 2 rewards, the knockback upgrade, which increased the power of my weapons, and a treasure map. You hear that, Sally? We can use this to search for buried treasure.
Now that sounds like a cool adventure to me, Zozo. Let's do it.
For days 40 to 43, Sally and I followed the map until we arrived in the warm, dusty Badlands. We were getting a little nervous because it was almost nightfall. We were right about that, but we didn't consider that Mr. Dark might send his minions to do the job for him.
Look out, Zozo! Some night apparitions are coming straight towards us.
Sally was right. 3 big, scary night apparitions. I pulled out my sword, now with increased knockback, and fought them off. They were tough, but luckily, Sally and I made a good team, and we were able to defeat 2 of the 3. The last one escaped to fight another day. Let's keep going, Sally. According to this map, we're really close to finding the buried treasure. Soon enough, we found an area of the ground with a big red X marked on it.
Don't they always say X marks the spot, Zozo? Let's start digging.
We mined down into the ground until we found a buried chest. And inside, there were a whole bunch of rubies. This is awesome! I know exactly what I'm going to use them for. On days 44 to 49, I continued my work on the statue. It was really coming along now. Can you see what I'm making now? I bet you can't guess. But while I was working on my statue, I saw a trader on a horse making his way through the forest near my base and decided to strike up a conversation. Hey, Mr. Trader, got anything cool on offer?
It's your lucky day, dear customer, because I'm actually doing a 2-for-1 special on netherite ingots today. It's a rare and very valuable material. Perfect for a skeleton dragon like you.
That sounds so cool. How much?
I only take payment in emeralds, but don't worry. If you haven't got any, you can always raid the emerald mines of Alonia near here. They got abandoned by the workers when the boss decided not to pay them enough, so all the emeralds were left for the taking.
I really wanted those netherite ingots, even though I didn't really know what I'd use them for. So I journeyed to the mines and collected as many emeralds as I could from underground. Netherite City? Here I come! I traveled back to my base and made the trade. The trader gave me my 2 netherite ingots and rode off.
Pleasure doing business with you, Zozo.
But I didn't have long to enjoy my fancy new ingots. As night fell, the 3rd and final night apparition came back for revenge, and I needed to run out beyond the wall to take it on. You guys don't know when to quit, do you? Soon enough, I defeated the night apparition, but it made me realize that my base needed better defenses. If these monsters and Mr. Dark mainly come out at night, maybe they hate the light. Perhaps adding some torches to my wall would help ward them off. On days 50 to 53, I realized something horrible. The night apparition attack had just been a distraction, while someone else had sneaked into the stable and kidnapped Sally the skeleton horse. I ran to my mentor, the necromancer, deep in the forest, and asked him where Mr. Dark's forces may have taken my best friend.
Well, Zozo, I hate to tell you this, but it's likely that Mr. Dark's minions will be taking your friend to the Twisted Kingdom he calls Playland.
But where can I find that?
Even I don't know exactly, but my senses tell me that you should travel to the east. Your answers lay there.
There was no time to waste. I didn't want Sally to get trapped in Playland, just like the other skeleton dragon's friend, so I immediately set off to the east, hoping to find her. But on my way, I was suddenly ambushed by a zombie Spartan, ready to fight. But unlucky for him, I was ready to fight too. Nothing is going to stand in the way of me rescuing my friend. The zombie Spartan was tough, but I had the power of friendship on my side. It didn't take me long to strike him to submission with my enchanted sword. In his defeat, the zombie Spartan dropped something, 2 voidworm mandibles. I already have a voidworm eye. I better take them. They might come in handy. On days 54 to 57, having defeated the zombie Spartan, I continued searching for Sally the skeleton horse, and my search soon led me to a deep cave. Suddenly, it felt like everything got much darker around me. I'm never going to let Mr. Dark take you to Playland, Sally.
That isn't your choice, Zozo.
I turned and saw one of the shadows in the cave moving with bright purple eyes. It was him, Mr. Dark, standing right behind me.
Do you want to come to Playland with me now?
What did you do with her? I swung my sword, and Mr. Dark teleported out of the way, appearing right behind me.
She's playing with my friends right now, but later she'll play with me. Do you want to play with us, Zozo?
I tried to hit him again, but Mr. Dark was too fast for me. He hit me with one of his long, spindly arms and knocked me up against the wall, knocking out half of my hearts in one strike.
Still too weak. We'll play again when you're stronger, Zozo. Mark my words.
And then he disappeared, leaving me with nothing. A silver Lobo approached me out of the darkness, looking worried, and gave me some apples to replenish my hearts. Thanks, Silver Lobo. You saved my life here. The Lobo told me about a secret room further into the cave where I might find some vital information. I went deeper into the cave, feeling around on the wall until I felt a button and pressed it, opening a secret door. There was blue fire torches on the wall and an old map left on the table with some locations marked. They must be keeping Sally at one of these locations. On days 58 through 62, I decided I needed to become stronger before I could find the location where they were keeping Sally. First, I went to the diamond mine the Silver Lobo told me about and took the old elevator down. I quickly found some diamonds near the entrance and started mining. I then saw what looked like an old abandoned mining camp. A chest inside of it had a book with the unbreakable enchantment. I don't think whoever owned this camp would mind if I used the crafting table to make my gear. I made myself a diamond sword and a diamond chestplate to match. I used the nearby anvil to put the unbreakable enchantment on my chestplate. Now this is one of the most powerful pieces of armor around. After that, I returned to my base to continue work on my statue. It's really coming along nicely now. I even got to use all those rubies that Sally and I collected, but I could use some more materials. I went out into the forest to hunt, but in the process, I found something remarkable. A magical, enchanted halo. I decided to try it on and immediately felt its magic empower me. I got stronger and healthier, going up to 14 hearts. Whoa, talk about a functional headwear. As I continued hunting in the forest, I stumbled upon a spider nest. I saw the same gremlin from before, stuck in their webs calling for help. The spiders noticed me and charged towards me. This was the perfect opportunity to test out my new gear, but they were no match for my diamond sword. After I dealt with them, I cut the web holding the gremlin and he fell down. He thanked me for saving him again and ran off into the forest. Next time I take on Mr. Dark, he's in trouble. I went back to my base, feeling a lot more confident, and found that a huge bone serpent was waiting for me. But don't worry, he was friendly.
So, you're the skeleton dragon I've been hearing about. I heard something about this friend of yours. A skeleton horse? You want to find her? I recommend you look for an abandoned house on the plains.
Finally, a break in the case! You're a lifesaver, Bone Serpent, literally! Want to stay at my base?
Well, since you're offering, why not?
I built a new room with a pool where the Bone Serpent can stay. But by then, it was already nighttime. Mr. Dark would be on the prowl. I'd go find Sally first thing in the morning. On day 63 through 66, I was preparing to go on a rescue mission for Sally. But before I could leave, my mentor, the Necromancer, arrived to give me a gift.
Zozo, I wanted to give you a gift before you went on your quest. Mr. Dark is a mutant Enderman, and this dagger will do extra damage against Endermen. But be warned, it'll be incredibly weak against anything that isn't an Enderman.
Thank you, Master Necromancer. These will come in handy. I left my base, passed through the forest, and ventured out onto the plains. This was the exact direction that the Bone Serpent told me to go in. That's when I ran into a group of zombies and decided to test my dagger on them, and it did almost no damage. Wow, Master Necromancer was right. This dagger is useless against things that aren't Endermen. Instead, I pulled out my diamond sword and easily defeated the zombie horde before moving on with my quest. I got distracted again when I saw a villager, dressed like a craftsman standing next to a burning house. He looked like he needed help. Hey mister, I'm Zozo. Can I give you a hand?
Yes, please! My wife is trapped in that burning building, and I'm too old to rescue her myself. Please help me!
I ran into the burning building and found the craftsman's wife waiting inside. Thanks to my training from the Necromancer, I was able to stay cool under pressure and lead the craftsman's wife safely back out. He was delighted to see her.
Thank you, Zozo. I owe you one for this, and I always repay my debts.
On days 67 through 70, I arrived at the abandoned house in the plains where I figured they must be holding Sally. This place looks so spooky, but I need to do the right thing, just like my mentor taught me. I carefully entered the house, trying not to be detected. I noticed that there was a broken end portal inside. That's weird, but I was quickly distracted by the sounds coming from upstairs. I drew my sword and ran upstairs, seeing Sally the skeleton horse locked in one of the rooms. Don't worry, Sally, I'm here to help.
Wait, Zozo, it's a trap.
3 Endermen suddenly appeared all around me. I tried to fight back, but I wasn't fast enough. They kept teleporting and attacking me back. Little by little, I was backed into the corner. It looked like I was a goner until I saw something on the floor. Is that a potion of fortitude? It was. I quickly grabbed it and drank it, and it made me tough enough to collect my thoughts, remembering the gift from my mentor. I pulled out the dagger and charged in. He was definitely right about its strength against Endermen, because soon enough, all 3 were defeated, although I barely survived that. I went to free Sally from the locked room. We celebrated for a moment in the room before I let her out and headed towards home. Let's go and rest, Sally. I've missed you. I shared some of my apples with Sally as we walked home, happy to finally be reunited. On days 71 to 74, with Sally's help, I invited more skeleton horses to my base and let them stay in my stable. Though I had to take time to expand the stable so everyone could fit inside. Let me know if it gets too cramped in there. After I'd finished my renovations, I decided to journey down into the diamond mine again and collect more, you guessed it, diamonds. When I returned to my base, I used those diamonds to complete my set of diamond armor and enchant it with the protection enchantment to help improve my chances in an intense fight. When the armor was done, I noticed that I received a letter. Oh, it's the craftsman whose wife I saved from that burning house. He says he wants to meet me in the tavern of a nearby village. That's so exciting! On day 75 to 78, I did as the letter said and traveled to the nearby village. I found the craftsman waiting for me in the village tavern, just like he promised.
Good to see you again, Zozo. After what you did, I've been thinking about a way to repay you. And while I'm not a rich man, as a craftsman, I can give you an idea of mine. If you're able to combine 2 netherite ingots, 2 void worm mandibles, and 1 void worm eye, you could create a dimensional carver, a special pickaxe that can teleport you between locations.
Wait, I have all of those materials. That's incredible. I can build one right now. Thank you, Mr. Craftsman. I made my way over to a nearby crafting bench and made myself a dimensional carver and gave it a practice swing. Boom! I was teleported to the village outskirts with a group of great beasts charging at me. Uh-oh, better get out of here. I swung the dimensional carver again, and boom, I was back in my base. Wow, this tool is amazing, though I'll save it for emergencies in the future. On days 79 through 84, I started building a new storage shed for extra supplies in my base. You never know when you'll need the extra storage space. Then, I made a full set of armor for Sally, so she could be better protected when she's wandering through the forest.
This is great, Zozo. Thank you.
But then, I was running low on materials, especially stone and wood, so I decided to head out into the forest to cut down some trees and mine some more stone. While I was mining and lumberjacking, a passing mage noticed me and approached.
Excuse me, young skeleton dragon, but would you happen to be Zozo?
That depends. Do you work for Mr. Dark?
Well, I used to, and there's something I want to get off my chest. You have to understand, Mr. Dark is pure evil. If ever there was good in him, it's gone now. You cannot reason with him. You cannot talk to him. The only joy he takes is in making others unhappy. So when you're dealing with him, just be careful. He is not to be messed with.
And with that, the mage left. Guess that's my daily dose of nightmare fuel. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base from the forest in the late evening, only to find out that the worst had happened. Mr. Dark was attacking my base with a whole gang of soul eaters.
Look, friends, Zozo is back. He's here to join our little playtime.
I want nothing to do with you or your deranged games. I just want you to stop bothering everybody.
Yes, we could do that. Or we could play catch. Soul Eater, throw!
One of the soul eaters pulled out a javelin and threw it at me. But then something strange happened. Rather than losing hearts, I started to get bigger and stronger. I'd become an evolved skeleton dragon, reaching my full size and going up 20 hearts. Whoa, I guess all that training is finally paying off. Wanna 1v1 me, Mr. Dark?
Why should I have all the fun? My friends want to play with you too. Play with him, Soul Eaters.
Mr. Dark vanished again, and the Soul Eaters ran towards me. With my new size and power, it didn't take me long to defeat them, which made me even more frustrated that I couldn't have taken on Mr. Dark there and then. Instead, I had to increase the size of my bedroom. A bigger skeleton dragon needs a bigger place to live. On days 90 to 94, I finally finished my statue. It's a giant cool skull statue, showing how we skeletons stuck together and stood against the evil of Mr. Dark and his minions. Did you guess what it was before I just told you? Let me know down in the comments. Once the statue was finally done, I decided I'd give some extra training to my best friend, Sally the Skeleton Horse. We trained together on the base grounds by play fighting until she upgraded and became bigger and stronger.
It feels so good to be powerful enough to fend for myself. Thanks, Zozo.
I never would have gotten this far without you, Sally. And after training, Sally took me to her brewing station she had set up to make a bunch of healing potions. You never know when these will come in handy. On day 95 to day 97, I met with the necromancer in the forest. He had some more valuable advice for me.
Zozo, I've heard of the location of a cabin in these woods, once owned by a person who was researching Mr. Dark. You might be able to find some valuable information there.
That definitely seemed like a good lead, so I started searching the woods until I found a rundown old cabin. On the inside, I found a dusty old book inside a chest. Oh, I wonder what secret knowledge is inside. But I didn't have time to read it just yet. Suddenly, the cabin was under attack by a gang of fire elementals who'd come to burn down the cabin. I was lucky to have my diamond armor, or I would have been burned up too. Okay, fire elementals, let's go. I took them on with my diamond sword and defeated them one by one, only getting a little burnt in the process. Great! Now I can finally read this book. The book was filled with frantic notes, including a part that read, Mr. Dark, that maniac. He calls it Playland, but it's nothing like that. There's only death there. It's the end. Nothing but the end. Of course, that explains the broken end portal too. Mr. Dark's Playland is actually the end. On day 98, I prepared the final enchantments for my weapons and armor and met with Sally one last time. She was nice enough to give me some more apples for the trip. I'm going to take on Mr. Dark. I discovered that he's hiding in the end, and without an end portal, I can use my dimensional carver to get there.
You're not going alone, Zozo. I'm coming with you.
But Sally…
But nothing. I saved your butt the first time you came here, and you think I'm gonna let you wander right into Mr. Dark's base? Alone? We started this together, and we're gonna finish it together too.
Well, when you put it like that, I can't exactly say no, can I? But I can say that if you want more exciting adventures like this, you should subscribe to Zozo and find more of our videos by searching Zozo on YouTube. I'll really appreciate it. On day 99, Sally and I were ready to take the fight to Mr. Dark and free everyone that was still trapped in Playland.
Let's do this, Zozo. Let's make it so the people of this world never have to fear the night again.
That's what I'm talking about, Sally! Sally stood close to me, and I used the Dimensional Carver to teleport us all the way to the end so we could storm Playland together. But as soon as we arrived, we were immediately surrounded by a gang of Endermen. I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah, me too!
I pulled out my handy dagger, ready to fight off the Endermen, when I realized that they weren't here for me. They surrounded Sally, too fast for me to stop them, and grabbed her. They teleported away, taking Sally with them to who knows where. Sally, no! I knew why they'd done it. They were working for Mr. Dark, and Mr. Dark wanted me to face him alone. On day 100, I walked deeper into the end alone, looking for Mr. Dark. He didn't seem to be anywhere around here. That's when I noticed a cage containing a skeleton dragon just like me. I'd finally found him. Don't worry, fellow Draggy, I'll get you out of here. I heard an evil laugh behind me, and Mr. Dark appeared.
You've come to play with me at long last. I knew you would in the end, little one.
I'm not so little anymore. I pulled out my dagger and turned to attack Mr. Dark, but he teleported out of the way and hit me again. He was even stronger than I remembered. Thankfully, I had a spare potion of healing to take to offset the damage.
Play along, Zozo. It's no fun if you don't play.
I tried to attack him again, but it was like fighting smoke. Every time I went for him, he teleported out of the way and attacked me back. It felt like all of my training was for nothing against him. You don't play fair, Mr. Dark.
That's because it's no fun to play like that. And I'm sorry, Zozo, but you're starting to feel awfully boring to me.
I looked behind me and saw that a giant chasm had opened up in the ground behind me. It was so dark down there, I didn't even know if there was a bottom.
You'll find more friends down there, Zozo. You'll never want to leave.
While Mr. Dark was focused on me, I saw a figure charging up behind him. It was Sally, the skeleton horse. And still, Mr. Dark hadn't even noticed her.
Any last words before you go into the dark, Zozo?
Yeah, playtime's over.
What?
Sally the skeleton horse charged into Mr. Dark and knocked him into the bottomless pit. He screamed and fell, never to be seen again.
Can't say I'm gonna miss that creep. Let's save the prisoners and get out of here, Zozo.
You know, that sounds good to me.